Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, January 1st, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, Cash App, $, ORION, NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Live play-by-play and reactions with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Kickoff is going to be here in about 15 minutes, so we're just getting kind of settled in. We'll wait for a few people to kind of come through, and then we'll go over some of the photos that we have here today. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend and a happy new year. Amazing college football playoff. That might have been the best college football playoff that I've ever seen. A lot of upsets. I'm not really sure if we thought it was going to be TCU and Georgia in the Natty, but it definitely delivered. And a lot of the games that were on today in the NFL, shook a lot of heads and surprised a lot of people. Some of the better teams lost. Injuries are coming into play, and we're really starting to get to the nitty-gritty on the playoff positioning. And we got the Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens tonight. And then tomorrow we got one of the best matchups ever. We got the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday night. Two teams that are actual Super Bowl contenders. People that wanted to debate if Jalen Hurts was the MVP or not. I think that, people that were saying, well, we could plug in anybody, even a Gardner Minshew. Well, they haven't been able to win without him. So I think at this point, it's pretty clear, it's between Jalen Hurts and like Mahomes, more than likely for that MVP spot. But you see what Jalen Hurts does for the Eagles when he's out there. So, I mean, based off, prior to the injury, I think it was a no-brainer that Jalen was the MVP. And we'll see if they can get back on track because they're not the same team without him. And Gardner Minshew isn't a bad backup, but it's just not the same dynamic that you're getting with Jalen Hurts throughout that full season. That is big facts. And then you're starting to see teams like my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans, put up a 50-burger in fantasy, 3 tutties. It's good to see the old Buccaneer offense kind of wake up, but I still don't feel very confident, us in the playoffs that we can really beat anyone. But getting to the playoffs you're in the playoffs. So I guess I have to be happy about it. I can't worry about draft position at this time. And then the Green Bay Packers with a big win over Minnesota. They played Detroit at home. So right now, Seattle is kind of waiting in the wings, even though Seattle's in that 7 spot. If Green Bay wins, Green Bay gets the last spot. And more than likely, that's what's going to happen unless they find a way to lose at home. But I would assume the Packers are getting kind of hot and healthy at the right time. And it shows you, you normally have to go 4-0 or 3-1 in December to be able to get that really good run going into January. So if you're not, 3-1 or 4-0, or you've had injuries, like right now, Philly, everyone thought, well, it's in the bag. We're going to the Super Bowl and we're winning. Now you start to see, San Francisco, even though Minnesota lost pretty bad, right? They're still there, 12-4, 12-4. Tampa's 8-8. Then you got the Cowboys at 12-4, Giants at 9-6-8, Seattle at 8-8, Green Bay at 8-8, Detroit at 8-8. So, I mean, there is a true possibility that anybody could come out on the NFC side because of the injuries that the Eagles have sustained. I'm not sure if it's like a for sure thing now. We have to see Jalen get back in there, and they've had some other injuries to like Lane Johnson. So we will see. I always thought it was Eagles and then Niners, and then Cowboys. But really, the NFC is up for grabs right now. And on the AFC side, it's very clear. It's the Bills, it's the Chiefs, and it's the Bengals. And it may not be in that order. The Bengals have beaten the Chiefs the last 3 opportunities they've had, right, going back to last year. And then, obviously, we got the Bills and the Bengals in Cincinnati tomorrow. And if they find a win to win that game, then Buffalo and Kansas City are probably scratching their heads thinking, shit, I hope we don't play Cincinnati in the playoffs, because if we do, prior to the AFC Championship game, we may lose. And I think everyone's eyes are starting to be a little bit more wide, a little bit more woke, a little bit more open. But especially people will be woke if Cincinnati wins tomorrow. Then everyone is going to be scrambling as we're going into January. Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, and then I guess Eagles, Niners, Cowboys, and then maybe a mystery team. You don't really know. Hope everyone has had a fantastic Sunday. And I'll be honest, I was getting a little bit sluggish. I was going to take the day off. and just spend it, with Paisley, because I really wasn't feeling that well, and I've been kind of under the weather for the last 3 or 4 days, but I've still been grinding it out. But hey, I got a Monster energy drink here. I'm here, and like I said, I'm ready to go. And a lot of times, with doing a stream, people don't realize it's not just the 3 or 4 hours that goes into what we're doing live. It's another hour and a half of prep, and then also maybe another half hour after the game is over. So essentially a 3 to 4 hour stream ends up being like 5 hours of work. And sometimes it gets to be a little much. Sometimes I get burnt out. I won't lie, you know what I mean? And I was going to take today off, but I am starting to feel a little bit better. Ordered a pizza, took a shower, and I got a little bit of snug time with Paisley. I'm going to grind it out. And then after the game is over, me and Paisley will snug. And then obviously we'll get transition into tomorrow, which is going to be pretty big with the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. The only downside is that I saw that USC plays Tulane at like really early before 4 o'clock. I'm not going to be able to do the game. I was hoping I was able to do that college bowl game, because I know there's a few bowl games tomorrow, but the girlfriend is back obviously here in the studio at work, through Verizon until 4 o'clock. So I'm not going to have any opportunity to do any bowl games. Unfortunately, I can't do USC tomorrow, but hopefully USC wins to represent the Pac-12. But I will be here for the Bengals and the Bills tomorrow. All right, let's see who's in the building, and then we will get through some of the new photos. Sarah's in the building. What to do? Let's go. 100 and donos. Hopefully we don't have what happened in the last couple videos, the tube be hating on your boy, and I just got to keep grinding it out, and hopefully we won't have any issues here. Megan is in the building. What to do? Finley in the building. What to do? And let's go through some of the photos here. Let's see here. Kyle in the building. What to do? All right, let's start it off with the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's go and get this situated. 1 sec. And decided to go for a cheerleader thumb. I figured, at some point I was going to end up doing it. I just really didn't know when I was going to start doing it. I mean, if I can't find a good stadium photo, or if I can't find something with good logos with the helmets, I can always refer back to the cheerleader photos. And, that might be something that I do, moving forward. It just kind of depends on what I can find. And I was lucky enough to find a decent one with the Steelers and the Ravens. There we go. That's what we're going to be doing here. Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers at quarterback. Struggling mightily this season, Kenny Pickett. Will he be able to do anything with his arm today? I wouldn't bet on it. I would bet on a heavy daily dose of Najee Harris and company, but we will find out and we will see. At running back, we got Najee Harris. Roll Tide, I see you. Then we got George Pickens. I feel that he can end up being a true number 1 receiver for this team if they just give him more targets like this. I see you, George. You're about to break out next year. I have a good feeling about that. Deontay Johnson, who is currently the 1, but having a hard time getting into the end zone just because Pickett fucking sucks. Let's just be honest, right? Steven Sims, 3rd string. We'll see what he can do today. And at tight end, they got one of the top 10 tight ends, Pat Fryer. Muth, I see you. On defense, we got Cameron Hayward, future Hall of Famer. TJ Watt, future Hall of Famer. Minkah Fitzpatrick, future Hall of Famer. And then obviously at kicker, let's get it here. Oh, did I forget the kicker? Let me see if I actually got the kicker photo, if I replaced it with the opposite one. Did I flip-flop them? Let me see here. No, I got it. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, where did it go? Chris Boswell. I had a black photo and a white photo of jerseys. So I was like, where did it go? There it is. Chris Boswell at kicker. And then the head ball coach, one of the most consistent in the league, we got Mike Tomlin. And then for the home team, for the Baltimore Ravens, we got Tyler Huntley making another start since Lamar is hurt. At running back, we got J.K. Dobbins. I see you. Gus Edwards as the backup. Also, he may see a few touches. They got a lot of running backs on their squad. They go 4 deep. Then we got at wide receiver, very thin, Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson, D-Jax, Deshaun Jackson. If I'm mentioning him, they are super thin. At tight end, one of the best tight ends in the league, not named Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews. I see you. The other tight end, Josh Oliver. And then on defense, we got Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, and we're not going to have any Calais Campbell or Marcus Peters today, unfortunately. One of the best kickers, if not the best kicker all time, one of the best, Justin Tucker. Head ball coach, John Harbaugh. His brother Jim is in the news. He may come back to the NFL for Michigan. We'll find out, especially after that shitty loss. And the cheerleaders, here we are. Let's get it. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, and here we go. All right, let me scroll down and get through some of the comments here. Kyle's in the building. What to do? Beefy! Man, what it do, bro? I haven't seen you in a couple months, it seems like. How are you? $10 holla. Happy New Year, brother. God bless you. Hope your 2023 brings you lots of joy, love, health, and success. Thanks, man. I think 2022 was, one of the best years of my life. I was able to go full time after grinding it out for 10 years. This is my 11th year now of recording, 7th on YouTube, going from 10 years and 6 years on YouTube from yesterday and last year. It's been a grind. There's been some good times. There's been some bad times. There's been joy. There's been some crying. Everything hasn't been perfect. And hopefully, I don't get hated on as much on social media. Hopefully I can end up growing this channel the way that it deserves to be grown. And I'm going to keep grinding out and putting in fantastic streams. Beefy, I appreciate you. Let me know what you want to see for photos. And I got you. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang, Beefy. Mick, what now? $10 holla. 90 to go. What's good? I appreciate you. Cyberpunk with a very early visit. I normally don't see you in here too early. Cyber, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. Hope you had a good New Year's. And I didn't drink or do anything like that. Just did some of the college football playoff games. Then, ate some gummies, hung out with Paisley, watched some Simpsons and read, and then got back at it to watch college football, obviously from last night, a little bit more, and then some NFL this morning as well. Cyber in the building. What to do? Beefy in the building. Yes, much appreciated. $10 holla. Let's get to a hundo. Let's do it. Brian's in the building. What to do? How are you? What's good? Matt's in the building. What to do? We missed you, Beefy. It's been a while. Anthony in the building. Raiders. Crazy game, man. I'm not really sure if I really agree with the whole benching, of Carr. But I mean, if they already are sold on the fact that McDaniels and Carr, that's not his guy, and we're going to end up moving him, then you might as well make the change. Or if you were trying to tank and lose that game on purpose by putting in Stidham. Obviously, as we know, sometimes you try to do something and you try to purposely lose, and then sometimes you end up winning or getting close to winning, which you guys almost did, 37-34. OT lost to the Niners, but it was very close. Raiders. Next year, you're probably going to be looking at, I would assume, the Miami Dolphins, the Niners, and the Raiders will all be looking at Tom Brady. So, and I know Tom Brady, they were, I think he was very close on signing with the Raiders, but they decided to stick with Carr instead. But, as we go into next year, Tom ain't coming back. So he'll probably end up with the Dolphins replacing Tua. He'll go to the Raiders, replace Carr and Stidham, or maybe a wild card choice would be the Niners, his team that he grew up watching when he was a kid. But we have to see what they do with Jimmy G and Trey Lance before we talk about Tom going there. But Raiders and Dolphins are definitely going to be a hot spot for Tom, because I don't think he's going to go to the booth next year. That is big facts. Yeah, man, it's crazy, and it took me 10 years of grinding to go full time last January. And I even though the numbers, maybe weren't what I wanted, and maybe the views weren't what I wanted, to go full time with limited people in the room, that really says a lot. And obviously the donos have been, above and beyond maybe what most people expected. So we just need to get, the views and the subs to catch up to the generous donos, and then we should be able to have a great 2023. But the shitty thing is anytime I end up having like a really good stream, right? Like with the Orange Bowl, we had like 7,000. We had 109 people in the room. And then what do? They end up blocking the video. Then I end up doing the video yesterday, right? With Georgia and Ohio State, 2,400 views. They blocked that video. I'm not showing fucking audio or video, excuse me. You know, a lot of people are doing live play-by-play reactions. I don't know what Disney has got up their ass, but it's really ridiculous when I'm trying to grind and be able to, you know, show what I'm able to do and, you know, have those bigger streams. Sometimes if you have a big stream where you get promoted and you can have 100 people in the room, you might gain 20 to 40 subs that particular stream, and that might be more than I get in a couple months. You know what I mean? And of course, they decided to hate on your boy both streams. So I don't assume that it'll happen for this one. And I don't know if it's just because those games are big for college football. If anything, we're helping promote the sport. We're not bringing the sport down. But I thought it was really ridiculous not to even give me they didn't give me a copyright strike. But if they wanted to use the material and put the copyright on it, that's fine. But just let the live stream be available in the future, you know, for other people to, if they want to watch or just to, you know, preview to see what we're about. And it's really a shame, you know, because some of the streams that we do, we're only at 100 to like 500 views. So when I get one that's like 2,400, you know, 7,200, I want that to stay, you know, a part of the platform. And, you know, it's just another thing that I got to go through, you know, over and over and over. It just never ends with me. It just never fucking ends. But, you know, you just got to keep your head up, keep grinding, and find a way. So, yeah, it's nothing to do with the thumbnail ever, like I said, but I've never had a video blocked for audio ever. And I've been doing like this for 10, 11 years. I've never had a video blocked, you know, because it's like, obviously, if you show video, then they have the right to, you know, copyright strike you if they want to go that route, or block the video altogether, or block it in the US or block it in other foreign countries. But for whatever reason, Disney, who's a part of that brand, you know, decided to block a lot of people's live streams where they weren't even showing any video of the game. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. And luckily, I didn't purchase anything on the thumbnail side for those two games. So I was still able to get those views on my own without paying for an updated or upgraded thumbnail. But it's just fucking frustrating when all I want to do is be able to try to grow. And no matter what I do, it just never works out, unfortunately. But hey, it's 2023. It's a new year. Let's go after it. Let's have a great one. And hopefully this game will be halfway entertaining as we go into the, you know, Bengals and Bills tomorrow, which will be fantastic. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. And let me know what you want to see for pictures, Beefy, and I got you. All right, Ravens kick off. Let's get it, baby. Thank you, Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is in here early, and he's always supporting. $50 holla. Let's go. Thank you, Cyber. All right, here we go, baby. Cyberpunk, $50 dono. Appreciate you, brother. All right, hand off to Najee Harris. Short gain. All right, let's go, baby. Let me know what you want to see as well, Cyberpunk, and I got you. $50 dono. Bang, bang. Boom, boom. Bang, bang. Let's get it, baby. Appreciate you very, very much. Chiefs, my brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's get it. Hope you had a great new year. $60. Let's get to a hundo. We definitely appreciate you. All right, here we go. Shotgun set. Pickett rolling to his left. Going to Pat Freiermuth. Just short of the first down marker. All right, Kenny. You got to show me something today, brother. I do like Pat Freiermuth a lot, though. Yeah, and then like I said, it's, you know, obviously, you know, if you guys have Twitter, do me a solid, like and retweet the live stream, and that way that we can get, you know, 30 to 300 extra views. And so that's always nice where, you know, it can obviously be there, you know, on Twitter. But, man, you know, not to be able to have like that Orange Bowl with, you know, 7,000 plus, that would have been a good stream to have on the front page, you know, to show something other than 100 to like 1,000 views. And that's usually kind of where we are, unless we get promoted or, you know, they recommend, you know, the particular live stream. So just want to be able to, you know, work hard and, you know, hopefully get rewarded a few times and then gain some opportunities for some new people. And especially when you have like 109 people in the room, you know you're going to get people to sub. You know, you're not going to get everyone to sub, you know, out of like the 7,000, but, you know, you could have a pretty good sub growth, you know, based on those. And just unfortunate that I think I only had 2 all year, and one of them was last night, you know, and then they fucking took it away. So rough. It's rough. It's rough being NWSF sometimes, man. First down and 10, short run there by Najee. I know AEW did that to me too. I had an old AEW 5-star match with like Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks, like in their very first year, and it had like 10,000 views, and it played for like a year, no problem. And then all of a sudden AEW just went in and fucking copyright strike fucking everything. And I was like, dude, I'm like your biggest fan, like, you know what I mean? But obviously, if you get 3 copyright strikes within a short period of time, your channel can disappear forever, even if you have like 1 billion subs. They don't care. You know what I mean? So you have to be very careful with that stuff. And that's why sometimes I don't do uploads, because you have to be very careful on what you do. You know, you can't really do wrestling. You can't really do soccer. There's like certain things, you know, if you do NFL or NBA, there's certain rules that you have to follow with the video length and how many times you pause, things of that nature. And if you don't do that, then they'll just block it or you know, or give you a copyright or a copyright strike, you know. And like I said, I know all the rules. I've been doing this shit you know, for a long, long time, but it's just ridiculous to block a video with no video, you know, issues at all. Like just audio. Like, do you think people care that much about the college football playoff? You know what I mean? Even though it was a very good one, like no one's going to go back and watch a goddamn fucking live stream from the playoff, more than likely. You know, maybe someone would watch like highlights or something, but there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to go back and watch, you know, the playoff video. But it would have just been nice to be able to have it on my front page, you know, of the YouTube. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know, man. People got too much time on their hands, man. I mean, especially, but at least on the bright side, all the donos that are acquired, you know, don't get taken away. Now, if those got taken away on top of my video being blocked for doing nothing wrong, then I'd be really fucking irate. Then at that point, I'd be like, maybe I need to go to a different platform and see if I can go somewhere else. But I know people that do Twitch and other platforms, they have these same kind of issues too. So just, you know, unless Twitter ends up having a platform where we can actually, you know, do Twitter exclusive, and I only like, you know, we record from there only, and maybe they'll get to a point where Twitter will have that ability where you can actually live stream exclusively through Twitter, you know. I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to that. Nice run. First down, Steelers. Nice run. Jaylen Warren. Nice play. Handoff. Najee. I always think that Steelers football means something. At least I got Jaylen Warren in here as well. Where did it go? There it is. You just never know who's going to be getting carries, and of course they're going to mix it up and mix it around. There's the Jaylen Warren, and then we got the Najee Harris on the last carry there. I think I got another Jaylen Warren that's actually halfway decent. Najee again, close to the first down marker. Ooh, I like that one better. That one's much better. All right, let's use this one. Keeper.
Now, it really is interesting, wasn't it? We had a chance to visit with Kenny Pickett. He wanted to put his mark on this rivalry. He got knocked out very early in that first game of his. And
all right, they're on the – where are they at here? Let's take a quick peek. Oh, they're close. Only a couple yards away. First and goal. Oh, flag on the play. I think that was a illegal motion or a false start. False start.
That Fryer mood saying, I can't hear you. We're down here in this end. Just take a look. Love you there, Kenny Pickett. It's really loud. Let's be decisive in what we're doing.
Yeah.
But now it may take them out of a little of what they're.
That's crazy, dude. There's no reason for it. Appreciate you, Cyber. I mean, all I'm trying to do is just make a living, you know what I mean? And do my dreams. And I've sacrificed a lot to even get to this fucking point. Oh, pass incomplete. Good defense there by the Ravens. And it just, you know what I mean? It's like when you start off and you're doing reaction videos and you're getting, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 views. It's exciting, but when you're not making any money, it's not exciting. And then you get to a point where you do that for a couple years and you're getting subs and you're getting views, but you're not making any money. It sucks. You know what I mean? And then obviously trying to branch out and, get to know people more instead of just reading comments, on uploads and actually getting to know people. And that's really what it's about. I just, want to be able to just have a fair shot like everyone else to grow, appropriately. But short gain there by Najee. But I was really shocked that not only did they, they didn't copyright strike me on either one of the two videos, but and then I've seen them block videos before, like United States only or like in Australia only. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But to block it and not have it even available to watch, like it's just gone, just disappeared. Like I never did the video. That's just a shame. You know what I mean? Like all the numbers are still calculated in all my metrics and analytics. But I mean, to have two videos get about 10,000 views when we normally get about 100 to 1,000, unless it's something special or we get promoted, it hurt, Oh, pass incomplete on the fade route to Sims or George Pickens, excuse me. Pickens, the intended receiver. Let's see this again. Good defense there. Cyberpunk is the man. We couldn't do this channel full time without him. All right, here we go. Chip shot right down the middle. Chris Boswell, and it's good. All right, let's get some photos up for you great people. Wow, that's crazy. So what did they do? They just made their views like private so that only certain people could see them? That's crazy, dude. Beefy. Multnomah Falls. Great choice, dude. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. I mean, I try to show pictures sometimes of what, Mount Hood and like the beach. I try to show people on like my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and sometimes in the background, but it's so, I mean, when people come here from like Chicago, Florida, New York, they typically don't go back home. Like they go back home and then they pack up and they come here. And I've had a lot of people that have visited, once or twice, and then they decided, you know what, I want to live here because I mean, it is beautiful. We literally have everything that you could ask for. I mean, you see stuff on the news about Portland, with like Antifa and like bums and crazy behavior. Yeah, you're going to have crazy bums and crazy homeless, drug people and bums and just crazy criminal behavior. Every big state is going to have cities that are a little bit more dangerous. I mean, that's just facts. It doesn't matter if you live in Chicago, New York, or if you're somewhere in the Midwest, or if you're, in Oregon, there's going to be some, kind of shadier places. And obviously, Beefy used to live here in Oregon. So there's a few places that are a little, more shady than others. And a lot of them, are in downtown Portland. And there's a few other surrounding cities that are a little shady as well. But yeah, let's do some of those. I will definitely do that for you. And then I'll get something for Cyberpunk as well. So let's just do some of these Chiefs photos that I have on hand just to make sure we show Cyber some love. I don't know how long Cyber is going to be here, but since I have these on hand, I want to make sure we show him some love. Appreciate you, Cyberpunk, with the big $50 dono. Chiefs are still in the running to win the Super Bowl and get to the AFC Championship game. I'll be rooting for him. And I got to show him some Bo because his favorite is Bo, just like myself, one of my favorites of all time, like Ken Griffey Jr. So give him a little bit of love. And if Cyber, if you want anything specific, Bo Jackson or more Bo Jackson photos, just let me know. Type it in the chat and I got you. And then let's go through some of these Multnomah Falls and other things while I can multitask. But it truly is, man. And I don't think I can actually leave. I don't know if I ever will leave Oregon, honestly. It's just too pretty here. You know, there's just too many amazing things to do. I mean, there's way more positive than negative. You know, it's like hour and a half, 2 hours to the beach, to the Pacific Ocean. If you like seafood or you want to be near the Pacific Ocean on the beach, right? You know, and if you don't like that vibe, you want to go downtown and you want to party or you want to go to a club or a Blazer game, boom, you can go to downtown. You know, you want to go to Nike headquarters, boom, like 10 minutes from my house. You know, you want to go to Oregon Ducks or Beavers, hour and a half away. You know, hour and a half to 2 hours. You want to go camping, you know, hour and a half to 3 hours away in any direction. You know, if you want to go to some lakes, you know, maybe about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours in any direction. So, I mean, we really do have a lot of that here. And like I said, I mean, Washington is kind of similar, but it's more of like a place for me to visit, not live. And Cali's got too much crime, and it costs too much to live there. Short game by the Ravens with J.K. Dobbins. But, you know, I wouldn't mind visiting, but I'm never going to live in Washington or Oregon. It's pretty much, or Washington, California, excuse me. I think the only place I could see myself being here is just here, you know, in the 503 in Oregon. Second down and 7, shotgun set for Tyler Huntley. Guess who? Mark Andrews. First down, Ravens. There we go. Why couldn't you do that for me in the fantasy playoffs, motherfucker? God damn. Shit still hurts. Lost by less than 1 point. Less than a point. I've never lost in the playoffs. I've lost in the regular season by less than a point, but never in the playoffs by less than a point. That fucking hurt. Nice job, Mark Andrews. Oh, baby. There's the first one at Multnomah Falls. And that's a place where you can go hike up. And it takes about, you know, an hour and a half probably to go. It depends on how high you want to go and what trails it goes off to. But the view is pretty crazy. But you don't want to get too close. People have died, you know, being too close to the edge and have fallen off. And obviously, you know, are no longer with us and stuff. But most people are pretty smart, you know, when they get up there with the hike. But the views are very pretty.
So Leal joining Robinson on that stop. A couple of bigger bodies, newer names. As the Steelers develop some of their youth late in the season, but from their TJ Watt back in the lineup.
Huntley scrambling, going towards the edge. Get that first down. There you go. Don't go out of bounds if you got it, bud. There you go. Nice job by Huntley. Very close to that first down marker. Air Jair. What it do?
Occasionally he'll get back to a number 2 receiver, but not that often. That's what you're going to see tonight.
They just signaled first down. It was third and short when they were coming out of the huddle. I don't know if the Ravens sent in a third and short player.
Hand off to J.K. Dobbins. Short game.
That was a first down. It was signaled very, very late, like just when they broke the huddle, that it was a first down.
Oh, so they did give him the first down.
Second down.
Short gain on first down as we move to second down.
who really was never supposed to be. Is that Lamar? There's Lamar. I didn't make sure. There's Lamar Jackson over on the sideline, and we certainly look forward to when he can play again with that bad knee, because right now there's been a stretch run without him, just like last year, and yet this year it's been going much better.
This is his fourth game.
Huntley, play action fake on 2nd down and 10. Scrambling to his right. Use that speed. There you go. Decent gain for Huntley. Jake, my boy, how are you? Yeah, Oregon is the best, man. I just don't see myself ever leaving. It's too pretty here. Too many things that I enjoy here. Huntley on 3rd down and 6. Mark Andrews, 1st down, Ravens. Move the chains. All right, Mark, I see you. Would have been nice if you were able to do this for me in fantasy. When it counted, when I needed you.
First look, and generally first look is Mark Andrews right there. And so if you're going to allow him to get open, it is going to create some opportunities.
Let's watch the spot here, Chris, because they have marked this one short. He had to get to the 43-yard line. You see right across there. It looked like it should have been a first down.
Are they they're gonna do a measurement? They should have been a first down, right? Horrible spot. But then obviously Multnomah Falls. Jake used to live here in Oregon, one of my good buddies with Marcos, and he's familiar with a lot of these places as well. And now Jake's was living in Arizona, now lives in Dallas. And then we have people like Beefy that used to live in Oregon that lives in Florida now. So let's see here. Let me try to pull up some more photos here. Multnomah Falls, Mount Hood. Canyon Beach.
I just got the new iPhone 14 with this amazing camera at T-Mobile.
Just head to T-Mobile this holiday to get gifts for the whole family. For a limited time, get 4 iPhone 14s on us and 4 lines of unlimited for $25 a line. Wow. Wow is right. And T-Mobile has price lock guarantee. Unlike the other big guys, we guarantee we will raise the price of your rate ever.
Lots to do here. It's very pretty. I mean, sometimes the pictures look like fucking postcards. That's how beautiful it is. And it's always a good vibe for anyone in Oregon that has like seasonal depression, or if they're fucking just like not good in the head mentally, and your anxiety, depression, you feel like shit. You go here for a weekend or even a day and you come back, you do feel refreshed. And we're just blessed to be able to have places that are only about, hour and a half to 2 hours away where we can drive and go and enjoy the food, enjoy the ocean, enjoy the people, and then come back and then feel kind of refreshed. And normally, not every state has got places close enough to them to be able to reset, but we are very lucky. Multnomah Falls, Mount Hood, and then obviously we got Cannon Beach here, got a few others, and let's go with a couple others here.
And referee Landon Clark with the call.
After reviewing the play, the ruling against the runner didn't make the first down.
Oh, they still didn't give it to him. Call reversed. There's Columbia River Gorge there. Always pretty.
to see Andrew's knee come down. You get Terrell Edmonds' elbow guard that's also
Another one.
on the way there. And
Nearby.
right there, it's right touching
It's beautiful, man. It's, you know, like I said, if you love camping and the outdoors, I'm not sure if there's a better place than Oregon in the United States, honestly. First down and 10, Steelers 3, Ravens 0. Happy New Year. We're in fucking 2023. Can you believe it? Halfback toss to J.K. Dobbins. Good defense by the Steelers. Short gain.
Let's take one look here at Patrick Ricard, number 42, who's the fullback of this football team. And generally, if you follow him, you will find the ball carrier somewhere behind him. He is going to be the lead on those counters, on those powers. This team holds more offensive linemen and fullbacks across the formation than any team in football. You're going to see that all night long, and Ricard is the key.
Huntley almost picked. Oh, my.
Marcus Robinson slipped out of his break, and Sutton almost got his hands on the game's first turnover.
Yeah, this is one of those return routes where the receiver is going to go down and then loop back to the inside. At that time, Robinson came back out of that cut and slipped and fell down, but it really wasn't going to be there anyway with Huntley. They got away with one.
This is not the strength of Huntley and this offense at the moment against Atlanta. Brutal cold last week, but only 9 of 17 passing. With a timeout taken here by Pittsburgh.
Timeout. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh takes that first one. So this Baltimore team, Chris, when we get to the start of the season, it was that wild game against Miami. They were scoring a bunch. It felt like almost things were changing with Baltimore. Lamar Jackson goes out in the last 3 games. They've only scored 12 points a game. They're barely throwing it for over 100 yards.
Yeah, and there goes one of their defensive backs. They don't have many for Pittsburgh. James Pierre walking off the field there. But yeah,
It's pretty, man.
sort of
Very, very pretty.
We know what they are with Lamar Jackson. We know what they are without Lamar Jackson.
I think I got almost all the ones that you wanted in there for you, Beefy. Multnomah Falls, Mount Hood, Canyon Beach, Columbia River Gorge, Crown Point. Yes, people don't know, man. Unless you've lived here before, you know, or visited. Third down and 8. Shotgun set. Nice pass. First down, Ravens. Tyler Huntley going to his guy, DeMarcus Robinson. First down, Ravens. Move the chains. Wow, that's crazy. That's in New Mexico, right? Oh, JK rumbling and a bumbling. First down, Ravens. Move the chains. You know it, baby.
This is the trademark of this offense. Kick out, get to the second level, get down on those linebackers, and if you can't stop that, you
For real? Wow, that's crazy. How's your son? How's the wifey? How's the job? How's everything going on out there? Mike in the building. How are you? Riggs in the building. How are you? Short gain on the keeper by Huntley. Might end the first quarter there. My boy Riggs, my NASCAR guy with Mike. How are you? $9.99 from my boy Riggs. He said, I'm back. $10 holla. Bang, 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 bang. Thank you, Riggs. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. $10 holla from my boy Riggs. Can't wait for NASCAR to start up again. I know Mike is ready. Sarah's ready. I know Riggs is ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys. Let me know what you want to see for photos, Riggs. Anything specific? Troy Polamalu, Bradshaw. If you got someone specific that you want me to, James Harrison, let me know what you want, and I'll try to find something for it. If you want something Steeler specific or NASCAR specific, let me know. I got you.
They average 18 points a game. That's throughout the course of his career. So we know what he brings to the team.
Thank you so much, Riggs.
Gives you a chance to compete for a Super Bowl. And so the interesting part now is what happens, because this organization is all in, right? They had to commit to this.
Yeah, but even if Jim Harbaugh ended up going to the Colts or the Broncos, that doesn't mean that he's going to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. I mean, as good as Jim Harbaugh is, even though he fucked up and did some fucked up play calls in that playoff game, Jim Harbaugh ain't going to be able to turn around some of those franchises right away. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to wait to get your kind of guys. And by the time you get your guys, sometimes you get fired because you don't get the results that the owner wants or the board wants soon enough. So, I mean, if Jim Harbaugh, ended up going to the Colts, ended up going to the Broncos, I don't really think it's going to it'll make some difference. You know what I mean? As far as like discipline and leadership, but it's not going to be like, Harbaugh's going to Broncos and then they're going to go to the Super Bowl the next year. That's not going to fucking happen. I mean, there's a good chance that he could come and they don't even make the playoffs. I mean, the teams have got a long ways to go. You know what I mean? I think a lot of us know that by watching these teams. I mean, Sarah knows as a Colts fan, and but obviously if you get guys like CJ Stroud that we saw last night, I mean, that's a step. That's a good start. But you still need a hell of a lot more wide receivers, tight ends, more O-line, more defense. And then you just got to pray that you don't get hurt like you did this year. And then Denver is just, I don't know what even to say about Denver. Denver has so much to do to get back to being a halfway decent football team. But we'll see. Oh, good. Have you got a chance to spend time with the fam? That's good to hear. Tony Dungy and the Steelers uni. Let's do it. Great choice. I ever told you the story that I met Tony Dungy at an Oregon game when his son was a player? I was in the family section, like in the first, second row. And as I was going to halftime and I was walking up the steps, I was shoulder to shoulder with Tony for like 30, 40 steps. It was unreal. Like I knew that his son was playing, but I didn't know Tony was actually there because he would try to go, to the games as much as he could. But at that time, I mean, he was still doing TV and things like that. And I think even at that time, I'm trying to think if he was still coach of the Colts. I don't think he was coach of the Colts. He did the Tampa thing, the Colts thing, and then he retired. And then I think it was like a year or 2 or 3 after retirement. And then obviously his son ended up, was like 6-string wide receiver, never really did anything for the Ducks, but it was cool to have a little conversation with Tony. Really nice guy. And I never bothered him for an autograph or a selfie. But the crazy thing is no one recognized him besides me. I mean, Tony looks like a fucking alien. Like you look at Tony Dungy, he's got a look to him. It's like, if you know football, I mean, it's pretty easy to have Tony Dungy stand out in a crowd of 100 people. But for whatever reason, maybe the drunk Duck fans were just too drunk or whatever. They just didn't want to bother him. But most people didn't even notice that it was him. And he even had the Dungy jersey on with his last name on, wearing his son's jersey. I was like, pretty easy to spot if you ask me. Fade route, incomplete. All right, we got Justin Tucker coming out. Not going to be a whole lot of Tony Dungy stuff on the Steelers, but
And then just trail him right across the field there and just nowhere to go with that football.
I did find a crazy college photo of Tony Dungy from Minnesota. Kind of defeats the purpose because it's not Steelers for you, but there's him in college. That's pretty wild. Great photo, too. I don't know how the hell they found that one. Field goal kick is up, and it's good. Justin Tucker, 30-yarder. We're knotted up at 3. And if you've watched this rivalry in the past, it's a lot of fucking field goals. Right up. There's Tony Dungy and the Steelers. There's Tony Dungy in college. I don't know how the hell they found a photo that good of Tony. There we go. I know I can find a few more. I just got to keep, I have to go down the, let's see. Where are you here? There we go. They try to compare him in like Donnie Shell photos, and Donnie Shell wore 31. So you got to look for the 21. That was Dungy's number. They try to group some of those. There we go. There's an old school Tony.
Wendy's new Italian Mott's is fried mozzarella, garlic not bun, marinade. You know what? You're just gonna want to eat it.
Woo! Okay, another one.
Want luxury hair repair that doesn't cost $50? Pantene's Pro Vitamin Formula repairs hair, as well as the leading luxury bonding treatment for softness and resilience without the price tag. If you know it's Pantene.
We've invited everyone who either won the show or leading on the show. It's the best of the best versus the best.
Appreciate you, Riggs.
I was having challenges with my
There's another one of Tony.
lots of red flags. Yellow ones too.
Fees, penalties,
Oh, this one's cool.
claim review.
So I'm good with that making and moved on.
Well, Jack Lambert in the snow with Tony. I mean, talk about two different types of personalities. One guy, just, one of the nicest, most genuine people that you've ever seen. And then another guy that wants to fucking bite your ears off and your nose, rip your arms and legs off, and clothesline you during the middle of the game and leg drop you like NFL Blitz. They had some crazy, crazy defensive players over the years. Awesome. Beefy with a $5. Yes. Yeah, they're not going to, man. I mean, I know we like to root for the Bucks, but to play football like we did today, it's one thing to do it against the Panthers, but these playoff teams are going to be much better, even though there is going to be some opportunity for some movement for NFC teams. Yes, we have Eagles, Niners, and Cowboys, but there could be a mystery team that, is like, just getting into the playoffs, or, one of the others that might be able to surprise people and go to the NFC Championship game. I'm not really sure, because now with Jalen Hurts and the injury, and Cowboys are trying to find their footing, and Minnesota lost, and Minnesota looks good, Minnesota looks bad, Minnesota looks good, Minnesota looks bad. Green Bay's getting hot at the right time. Tampa's starting to get a couple wins here at the end, but I'm not really sure if you're going to get a Super Bowl winner out of the NFC, because you have to be hot and you have to be healthy. And you have hot on a couple of the teams, but a lot of the teams in the NFC are unhealthy. And that's going to be a killer. Even if you go against a team like the Bengals, the Bills, and the Chiefs that have suspect defenses, their offenses are much better than anything on the NFC sides besides Philly and maybe Dallas, if they have everyone healthy at the right time. But this is the NFL, and that's why we love it. We never really know how things are going to play out. But again, hot and healthy, those are going to be the two H's that are the most important. You can kind of throw the record out of the window, and then you got to make sure you go 4-0 or 3-1 in December. And if you don't, chances are you're not going to go all the way, because you want to make sure that you're, in sync, especially when the games are going to matter. But you never know. Appreciate you, Beefy. Let me know what you want to see, and I got you. Bang, bang, boom, boom. Bang, bang. We can always throw up Mike Williams. No. Mike Evans, baby. 3 tutties. He got 1,000 yards every single year that he's been in the league. No other wide receiver has ever done that. He put up a 50-burger in fantasy. And most people that had him in fantasy aren't even in the playoffs, so it doesn't even matter. Pickett falls down. What's new? The most athletic quarterback we've ever seen in our goddamn lives, Kenny Pickett. I will check. No, we just got the 50 from Cyber, and we'll probably end up getting a few more before the game is over. Yes, we appreciate you, and I appreciate you.
Iverson's part of that mindset. Don't make
75. Let's get to a hundo.
which he did a lot early on, but he's taking care of the ball much
No, 70s, 80s, 90s. That was much better than anything that we're seeing today. I mean, you can, it's like all about the legends. There's a reason why, like the video game era, 80s and 90s, and then the, Jordans and the Drexlers and the Birds and the Magics and the Malones and the Barkleys and the Robinsons and the Ewings and the Stocktons and the Gretzkys and the Lemieux and the Michael Changs and the Pete Samprases. And, you can go down every sport in the 80s and 90s with Tiger, and everybody. It doesn't matter if you're going Barry Sanders, Joe Montana, Emmitt Smith. It's just you had more legends, even wrestling included, with Hogan and Flair and Andre the Giant and Road Warriors. I mean, DX, NWO. I mean, you're not going to be able to replicate what we were able to watch in the 80s and the 90s. And also the 70s had some shining moments as well. George Pickens with the catch. Yeah, we can if our offensive line stinks, our running game stinks, and our defense stinks. I mean, I've been watching this team for a long time. I know you have too. Dude, that's the Buccaneer fan in you talking, okay? I try to look at it as if I'm an outsider, and I have no affiliation to any team in the NFL, and I'm just looking at it just as a, facts and stats and analytical, and breaking it down that way. We have 0% chance of doing anything. Trust me. They might be able to get lucky depending on the matchup and win one game. Tampa ain't good enough. This is the worst team that we've had in a long time. Now, if Jensen comes back and we can get that offensive line right, but if you don't have O-line, D-line, defense, and coaching, you're fucked. And we don't have those things. Leftwich sucks. Bowles sucks. The O-line sucks. The defense has players. They're not putting effort. They put effort once in a while, but it's not like, when Todd Bowles was a defensive coordinator and you had Arians fucking yelling at him every fucking play to make sure they stayed in line. This is not the same team. I would be shocked if we ended up winning a game, let alone winning a couple. And, regardless of Brady, this is not the same Tampa Bay Buccaneer team from the previous 2 years. It's very clear. This is just your Tampa Bay fandom coming out. But me being also a Tampa Bay fan, I have to be realistic. And they're garbage. I can at least admit it. We're not a good football team. And honestly, if you actually watched us this year, they were probably the most cringeworthy team this year. I can think of probably, 25 teams I would rather watch than my own this year. It hasn't been fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you can't throw the ball. You can't run the ball. You can't stop anyone. Byron Leftwich is a fucking idiot calling, first down, halfback dive, second down, halfback dive, third down, halfback dive. And we still can't even get a yard. And then they're scratching their heads wondering what's going on. The play calling has to be better. It can't be so vanilla. But also you have to be able to have the personnel. And it shows you. It don't fucking matter. Rashad White, Leonard Fournette, fucking Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Tom Brady. If you don't have a line, you suck. You're not going to be able to win a lot of games. And that's what's happened. One guy retired. Another guy went to the Bengals. Gronk retired. We don't have our check down guy. Defense has players, but sometimes, guys are taking plays off. Guys are getting hurt. It's not the same, dude. We just have to be thankful that we got the Super Bowl where Tom was here, and we're never going to get another one again. I mean, unless we get extremely lucky, depending on the coaching staff down the road. But we went twice. We're 2 for 2. And most teams aren't even going to see 2 Super Bowl wins or Super Bowl appearances in their lifetime unless you're a bandwagon fan. So we just have to be thankful for what we got and that we actually, most people thought it would take that second or third year for us to accomplish the trophy, the Lombardi, but we did it year 1. But this team, I just have to call it how I see it. I would rather watch many other teams in the NFC than Tampa. It's like pulling teeth watching them, man. It's not fun. That's just me being honest and genuine. It's not fun watching the team. I try, but too much undisciplined football. And, obviously if you don't have an O-line or D-line, it's not the same. No JPP, Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh. We needed those guys. They thought that they could play without them, and apparently they can't. So, but it was good to see them win. But honestly, you want them to make the playoffs. I would have rather had the Saints, the Panthers or Falcons make the playoffs because we want better draft position moving forward. At least I do. You know what I mean? Because we got to think about life post Brady. Like if we get someone like Carr, then we'll be okay. But if we have to stick with Kyle Trask, we're fucked. And I don't want to watch another shitty year of football again. You know, this was a hard year to watch. So yeah, I've been talking about Cincinnati for a long time. Their O-line still is shaky, and their defense still has holes in it. But, you know, you could say the same thing for Buffalo and Kansas City. So, you know, they already have Kansas City's number because they're physical. And Kansas City, when you look at Kansas City and Buffalo compared to Cincinnati, Cincinnati's built and they play kind of like San Francisco, you know, where they run the ball a lot. Samaje Perine and Mixon, right? They pound the rock. Then you got Burrow, who's obviously a top 6 quarterback, right? Great wide receivers, good tight end. And then even though the defense is shaky, O-line is shaky, they still make enough plays to be able to make it work. And if they have a lead, it's very hard to come back on the Bengals when they have a lead. You know, Kansas City tried, and we'll see what Buffalo can beat them tomorrow. But, I mean, there's 3 legitimate teams. And, again, if Burrow makes it, you know, to the Super Bowl again, then the narrative of, hey, you know, if you go to the Super Bowl and lose or win, you're not getting back. But if Burrow gets back, maybe we'll start giving Burrow a little bit more love instead of Mahomes and Josh Allen and Herbert. Maybe we need to start recognizing that Joe Burrow is Joe Montana. You know, it's just that they need to be able to get a little bit more on that offensive line and defense. And, you know, maybe they can end up getting a Super Bowl win. But I personally like Joe Burrow more than Josh Allen. And I know some people are going to scream and argue and yell to the very end, but I don't buy into the Buffalo Bill bandwagon bullshit on ESPN and NFL Network. You know, I look at the team overall. Josh Allen is a gem. Josh Allen is a Hall of Famer. Josh Allen is special, but Josh Allen is reckless. So Andre Agassi as well. Absolutely. Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi. So. Yeah. Yeah. But the AFC South and the NFC South are just fucking terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it would be better to actually have nobody come out of those conferences. And I mean, I guess if you have to have like Jags or Titans or the Bucks, if you have to, but I mean, I would have rather seen someone else go. Seattle. I think Seattle is more entertaining than Tampa, personally. I mean, they put on more of a show, even if their offensive line and defense stink sometimes. So. Yeah, but that's soccer. We're talking NFL. You know, NFL. I mean, soccer and basketball and these other sports. You know, obviously sometimes you can, you know, win it with a dominant player like in the NBA or in soccer, but in the NFL, I mean, it's 11 on 11. You know, it's been a horrible year. You know what I mean? The execution has just been shit. I don't know. I just get to the point where the team is bad and I'm looking for our future rather than just going to the playoffs and just getting our ass kicked. You know what I mean? Go to the playoffs, lose by 20 in the first round. I mean, I don't know if I really want that to happen. You know? I'm all right, man. What's good? I was kind of feeling a little under the weather, but, you know, I'm grinding it out, man. 3-3, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Let me go get a drink here. All right, one sec here. Now I got to fucking be careful of all these goddamn fucking songs that they got attached to all these fucking commercials. And every fucking commercial's got a goddamn song attached. And so then if they hear that, then they try to copyright that. It's like, dude, I'm not listening to music in the background just because every fucking commercial has got some dumbass 20-second song attached to it, you know. And they're like, well, oh, we heard that. Now we gotta copyright that. It's like anything that they can possibly do to prevent from like paying people. It's just fucking ridiculous, man. Oh, see, that's where you and me are completely different, bro. 0% chance to even get to the NFC Championship game. 0% chance to the Super Bowl. 0% chance at winning the Super Bowl. I don't know. Have you watched every game this year? I know you're a Buck fan like me, but bro, that's a horrible take, bro. That is a horrible take. We have 0. I mean, Brady's Brady, but he's not the same if you don't have an offensive line and the play calling is not good. You just can't disregard O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, and play calling. You know what I mean? Like, you might be more confident than I am, but 0% chance. And then when you come back here after they get their ass kicked by 20 in the first game, and then I'll have to hit you with a "I told you so." But it's not happening. Almost every team in the NFC is better than Tampa. I mean, we could always get lucky, you know what I mean? But this team is not a good football team. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But that's my opinion, and it's not like I hate my team. I don't like this team this year. And I just can't make excuses up for them to kind of just, hide some of like the glaring problems that they have. I got to treat every team, as my own. And that's what I do. All 32, even though I'm a Tampa fan, I try to, break down each team evenly on this is what's good. This is what's not good. And Tampa is in the not good. Just because you got 3 touchdowns with Mike Evans, how many touchdowns has Mike had this year? Like 3 total. And then got like 3 today. You know what I mean? Just because we did some bullshit, Panthers team that's not very good themselves, that doesn't mean that we're great. We just beat up on another shitty team that was worse than us. But if they win, then that'll make you happy. But I don't want to even want to go to the playoffs, but we already made it. So, I want to be able to look out for our future. But there is 0% chance we do anything this year. 0. I would be shocked if we win a playoff game, let alone 2, let alone make it to the NFC Championship game. I mean, there's just way too much talent out there. I mean, if you want to be able to say, like, maybe we could, beat a Seattle or a Green Bay or, the Giants, well, of course, you know what I mean? Even Dallas with their shaky play calling, you know what I mean? But I would assume if Jalen Hurts is there and the Niners are what they are, I mean, those are the 2 best teams with Dallas. But still, Dallas makes me nervous because they have a horrible head coach and a horrible play caller. So, they got everything else besides that, but that could be the difference between Dallas making the NFC Championship game or not making the NFC Championship game. So, we'll see. We'll see. But like I said, I'm not one of those Brady bandwagon guys. I'm a defensive guy. I'm an offensive guy. I'm a play caller kind of guy. I'm a stats and analytics guy. And I just can't brush things under the rug just because we've won a couple games here at the end. We haven't looked good. You know what I mean? Think about how many games that we've watched where they've looked like dog shit for 3.5 quarters. And then Brady's got 2 good drives at the end. And then we win 17-16. That's not good football. That's garbage. That's not worth watching. It makes me not even want to watch Tampa. You know what I mean? That's just, you're a little bit more optimistic, but I don't see it at all, man. You know what I mean? I'm not biased at all. So I just call it how I see it. If our team is good, like in the last 2 years, you're going to know it because I'm going to tell you we're a Super Bowl caliber team. But this year, nowhere near where we were personnel-wise, coaching-wise, leadership-wise, nowhere near the same category we were the last 2 years. Not even close. And those things come into play. O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling. You can't act like those things don't fucking matter. Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, quarterbacks, that shit don't matter. Because if that shit mattered so much, then Kansas City would have beat Tampa in the Super Bowl. But instead, we decided to hold them to no touchdown passes. So you could have the number 1 quarterback, the number 1 receiver, number 1 tight end, and still throw up a 0 in touchdown passes. Pickett, Deontay Johnson, bobbled, incomplete.
For Dafe Owe, number 99, he's been getting pressures all year long. He just can't finish the deal. See, we get a little bobble at the end of it. Absolutely. Owe with a great pass rush that time to flush out Kenny Pickett, goes right inside Dan Moore. But time after time this season, he has as many pressures as anybody, but only 2.5 sacks on the year.
Brandon Stevens back in the lineup for the Ravens. 2nd and 10. Run inside.
I'm just trying to look out for you, Beefy.
5 yards per carry in that first game.
Because we don't want to come across as, just being biased Buccaneer fans. If the Bucs make the final, you have to come down to Tampa for a weekend getaway. If the Bucs win, I'll come to Portland and everything is on me, huh? So what do you think? You think Tampa's going to make the Super Bowl? Bro, that's a horrible take. I mean, I can try to defend you as a Buccaneer fan, but there's no way in hell that's happening. No way. If we still had our offensive line exactly the same way, and we had Gronk, then maybe I would be on board. You know what I mean? The O-line is still there and Gronk is there, then maybe I'm like, okay. But with no O-line and no Gronk, there's just no way, dude. And Leftwich has been horrible this year at play calling. I'm not sure if you've watched every single game from beginning to end, but it has not been pretty. I'm just trying to look out for you.
Just think of Travis Kelce. That's all he is. He's Pat Fryermuth is their Travis Kelce, and he just delivered. The reason that he has been receiving so much attention from defenses is that they know he's.
Plus, it would be a shame if Tampa actually advanced. There's so many better teams to watch this year than them. Short game. I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, I've seen more shitty football games this year than probably in the last like 3, 4, 5 years. Like, this has been a very bad year for the NFL overall. Thursday night has been bad. Sunday night's been bad. Monday night's been bad. There has been some gems along the way. But overall, I feel out of like 32 teams, there's like 12 watchable teams this year, and all the rest are dog shit. They're not fun to watch. They're, you know, a lot of the times we're watching because we're forced to, you know what I mean? But they're not putting on a good product. And then it doesn't also help when, you know, the Buccaneers and the Rams and the Packers, even though the Packers are getting hot, you know, but they're not the same type of dominant team. You know, it's like when Rodgers and the Packers are dominant, NFL's good. When Brady and the Bucs are dominant, the NFL's good. Stafford and the Rams are dominant, NFL is good. And, you know, you just have a lot of these other shitty teams that got good this year, but not a lot of people are going to go out of their way to be like, oh my God, the Giants and Jets are on. Throw everything on the ground. We have to watch the Giants and the Jets. Said no one ever. You know, no one gives a shit. You know, like, you know, some people are going to watch those teams if they're your team, but it's not enough excitement to be like, oh, drop everything. The Giants and Jets are on. 4th down and 3. No, we already fucked up by making the playoffs, but I mean, Beefy wants to go all the way, but I just don't see it. You know, like I said, that's what makes me different, man. You know, no matter how much I love my teams, I never will be biased, ever, 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 ever. You know, I'll always call it how I see it. If I feel that we are a quality team, you know, you'll know it. But if we're not a quality team, you know, I'm not going to say that we are. Field goal kick is up. Hits the crossbar. No good. Doink. Wow. Chris Boswell with the miss. How's it going, brother? No. I don't want to win. But now we're almost forced to because we already won fucking today. I mean, normally Thursday night football is bad, but it's been like, I think, the worst it's ever been. You know, the matchups have been just absolutely dreadful. You know, and like I said, I mean, there's a lot of times where, you know, I always like college football and wrestling and, you know, and the NFL. Those are kind of the things that, you know, and then I got NASCAR and MLB now. But my love for the NBA when I was a kid used to be up here, and now it's at the very bottom. The NFL for me is starting to like make its way down. And obviously I love college football and wrestling, and MLB and NASCAR are going up, but just the quality of the games and the quality of the players, just the overall product. I just need to see some better quality football. Now, I do love watching the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, you know, even the Dolphins when they lose, they sometimes have moments, you know what I mean? So there's a couple teams over there, and then Eagles and Cowboys, and, you know, you got a couple teams over there on the NFC Niners. But I don't know, man. It's just there's not enough quality, great football teams for me to be like on the edge of my seat, like super excited besides my own team. And my own team even fucking sucks, but you know, they're in the playoffs. So $75 in donos. Let's get to a hundo. Ooh, Buc-ee's. Did you really? This is what Mike got, huh? Is this you at Buc-ee's? with the pulled pork and the brisket. Well, he did much better than what you anticipated, right? 23 for 37, 341, 3 TDs and a pick, right? That's much better than anyone ever anticipated. And you guys had the lead on us early, so.
High school player of the year, then went to Utah, started for 3 years. All Pac-12 Ravens liked him. Invested early some time in the discovery phase. Before the draft, he went undrafted. The Ravens used that time wisely, got to know him. He started to like the Ravens, and hey, perfect fit back with Lamar Jackson, and here he is for the second straight season playing December and January.
No problem. I knew it was you.
Patrick McCarry has just come in at right tackle.
No problem, man. You know, sometimes you just got to make sure you get yourself right.
Tight end Josh Oliver lined up next to McCarry, who's in for Morgan Moses at the start of this drive.
You know, if that happens in Kansas City, you go, who cares, right? You just
Have you talked to any of your family members or anything in the last couple days?
whenever they get a 5-yard penalty. So let's see what they do, how they answer.
Carrier remains in. You saw Moses. Personnel on the sideline. We'll keep an eye on that. J.K. Dobbins.
Have you talked to your brother, Brett?
Key play again here. Watch Ricard coming over just enough to kick out T.J. Watt.
Right.
Then it is
But also, too, you know, with Mike Evans' record on the line, 1,000 yards every year, you already knew that they were going to go heavy, heavy, heavy. And, you know, they haven't really thrown deep this year because the offensive line hasn't been able to protect long enough to go to Godwin and Evans long enough. And that's a big part of what made us successful in the last 2 years, having a good offensive line. So that way that we could go deep and make the other teams, get punished for it, for trying to step up to us. But, we haven't really been able to have a game like that besides this game that we just had. So, but I mean, I don't read into just, one game against the Panthers doesn't mean we're going to the Super Bowl and winning. I mean, I don't think we're even good enough to win a playoff game. And that's not me trying to be just a 100% complete hater, towards Tampa, but I can't support a team that isn't good. I can't lie and act like all these things are going so good for Tampa and we're going to beat everybody when I know we're not. I always have to be honest and genuine and real. This team is not good, but I mean, at least for VP, at least for Beefy, maybe they can win and it'll make him happy. But again, for me, I look at football a little bit differently, and I'm looking for draft status and moving forward to post Brady. And, and also Tom going through the divorce. That's another reason why, now he's got the new young girlfriend, the model, the blonde, who's in her 20s. That might make things a little bit better, but that was another problem that we had, throughout the year. You just can't go through all these obstacles and act like it's not going to affect Tom and the team. And Bruce Arians is much better than obviously Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is only a defensive coordinator. He's a horrible head coach. The players don't listen to him. I've watched all the videos post-win or post-loss, and you can tell by the way their body language and their eyes and their shoulders if they actually care what Todd is saying or not, or Byron Leftwich. They don't give a shit about either one of those guys. They care about Todd being like a defensive coordinator when that's when he was before, but him as a head coach, his leadership skills are zero. He's not a good leader, and that's just me being honest. That's not a good look for Tampa moving forward. Leftwich, see you later. Go somewhere else. Bowles, go back to defensive coordinator or fucking leave. It's not good for us. That's just me personally. From everything that I've seen this year, nothing has told me or showed me that the squad that they have is set up for success for the next 5 years. That's like we're going to be in a rebuild. So.
Serious or life-threatening side effects can occur, including allergic reactions, lactic acid buildup, and liver problems. If you have
No problem. I appreciate that.
stop
Yeah.
and get medical help.
Yeah, but Brett, your brother, he reached out to me, but I think I imagine that he will reach out and you guys will hang out. and go over that. So
Most common side effects are headache, nausea, diarrhea.
I just wanted to see if you ended up talking to him yet or not. So it's just lots of stuff, man. Lots of stuff going on. And we love you, man. We appreciate you. They're always gonna do that, or if he's got his son in his lap and they're by the pool or whatever, type of setting that they're at, whether it's birthday or whatever, how the media, they're always gonna try to make something more of something that is not a big deal. So 3-3 game, 3rd and inches. It's like this game right here. You know what I mean? Another perfect example, right? Like, let's be honest. This is my full-time job. Sarah does a great job, and we grind it out all the time. But let's be honest. Knowing what these teams usually put up and, what they usually do when they play each other, field goals. I mean, the fucking score is 3-3. We can have more fun talking in the chat than actually watching the game. You know what I mean? That's the fucking problem with the NFL this year. Like, this is supposed to get me on the edge of my seat. This is supposed to get me fucking excited. 3-3. You know what I'm saying? How many people would have skipped watching this game? Of course, a lot of us love NFL and we just try to soak in, Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, but they haven't done their part, to be able to give us a good show, each day when each week comes out. There's just a lot of shit football where, it's like college football during the regular season has a bunch of fucked up matchups where you got an awesome team like Georgia going against like Duke. Who the fuck is going to watch that? You know what I mean? Especially when we're going now towards like the bowl games and the playoff, it's exciting. But there's a big problem, with, the amount of teams and the lack of talent and then just what we're seeing in the NFL this year. But it's not a good product this year. It's the worst product the NFL has given out in probably about 4 or 5 years. I mean, and like I said, I know I use this as part, of my platform, but I have to be honest. I know I'm not the only one that sees it. You know what I mean? That the NFL is trash this year. It's not good. I mean, how many of us would have really skipped this game? I know I would. I'm not watching this game normally. I'd be watching Simpsons and snugging with Paisley, watching Rick and Morty or reading. You know what I mean? But obviously you got to grind it out and, we're getting kind of towards the end of the season. But, I mean, no Lamar Jackson, fucking Tyler Huntley. Why the fuck am I watching this? And then Kenny Pickett, he's trash too. You know what I mean? Like, these motherfuckers can't even move the ball down the field. Like, I'm going to be taking 3 or 4 hours of my precious time to watch this 3-3. And then the best part about it is us being able to hang out with each other. That's what makes it worth it. You know what I mean? Where we can talk about the other NFL games or college or wrestling, Charlotte Flair coming back and instantly winning the belt like way too soon. You know what I mean? But I think the amount of injuries also, and if you actually look at the starting quarterbacks this year, there's just a lot of shitty quarterbacks based off injuries and, things that have happened in the depth chart. And that's another reason why the NFL sucks. You got a lot of guys that can't fucking move the ball. Is it on right now? Is Penn State, Utah on right now? Fuck, I'd rather watch that too. I'm kind of pissed that I can't do the USC game tomorrow. But the girlfriend is going to be working. I'm pretty sure she starts work, and I think the girlfriend's daughter starts school back up tomorrow. So I'll have to go to the store and get some Lunchables and stuff like that for them. But no, it's tomorrow. So we got Mississippi State and Illinois at 9. Then we got Tulane and USC at 10. I'll be watching that very closely, rooting for USC to represent the Pac-12. LSU and Purdue, and then we got Penn State and Utah. That's going to be a good one. I'll be rooting for Utah to win that as well. Just sucks that they're on so early, but obviously we have Bengals and Bills, and that is finally like, okay, that is one of the best matchups, not only for Monday Night Football, but for like the year. I mean, we need more of those matchups, but it shows you, I mean, there's really only, I think, 5 teams right now that are like really fun to watch. Eagles, when Jalen Hurts is healthy. Cowboys, when Dak is healthy. The Bills, the Chiefs, and the Bengals, and that's it. I mean, I don't really know if there's anyone else out of those 5. Sometimes the Niners, but I mean, with Brock Purdy, it's Brock Purdy. So, you know, you're going to get running and defense, and that might not suit everybody. Every once in a while, Minnesota plays good, and then they play like shit. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I love Justin Jefferson, so I can watch just for him only. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at all the playoff teams and how many, how many of these teams would you actually sit through and watch a full game of? I mean, it's I hate to rip on it as much as I am, but it's just, I have to be able to be honest and truthful about it, you know? It's like New England, not watchable. You know, Dolphins and Jets, you know, at least they're a little bit better. Ravens, Steelers, and Browns, not watchable. Titans, Colts, Texans, not watchable. Jags, a little bit now. Chiefs, watchable. Chargers, watchable. Raiders and Broncos, not watchable. Eagles, Cowboys, watchable. Giants and Commanders, not really. Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears. You know, Tampa, Saints, Panthers, Falcons, no. And then you got Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. Maybe Niners and Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals are unwatchable. That's a lot of unwatchable teams. You know what I mean? Think about that. I mean, we're talking about like 20 unwatchable teams out of 32. That's not good. That is not a good look. So we better get a really fiery, you know, playoff, you know, and have some really good upsets and big games. Otherwise, this is going to be a disaster. I mean, of course, you still have the powerhouse teams, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Cowboys, Eagles, Niners. So at least we have those 6. But, I mean, fuck, man, I'm used to seeing, you know, 12 or 13 or 14 quality teams, not 6 out of 32. That's bad. Screen pass. Like this, 3-3? Come on. Well, they didn't have to have her win it there. They could have waited to the pay-per-view or waited to a later point. But yeah, she's horrible. She can't wrestle, and she's horrible on the mic. Yeah, but the thing is even though we have a good number against you guys, the only thing that would prevent you guys from losing, would be obviously the head coach and the OC. You know, everything else on the team is fantastic. You guys realize that Tony Pollard is better than Zeke. You know, Dan Quinn is great. Micah Parsons, the defense is good. Dak is rolling. You know what I mean? You're not missing Amari Cooper that much. You know, everything is falling into place. But can they call the right plays at the right time and have good clock management? That's the fear of every Cowboy fan. They know they're good. They could be a number 1 seed, number 2 seed, whether that, Philly, struggles here at the end or not. But the bottom line is can Dallas actually win a playoff game? And that's still to be determined. You know what I mean? They have the talent as like a top 2, top 3 team with the Niners and Philly, but they also have the worst coach and maybe the worst play caller, out of those, teams that are at the top. So flag on the play. Oh, my boy Jake, thank you so much. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you. All right, Mike with a 20. Thank you, Mike. $20 dono from my boy Mike. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang. And he says this is for anybody that wants photos as we're going into halftime. So, whether that be for you, Alan, we can throw up some Cowboy photos up for you, since you're obviously right now trying to get mentally better. So we can always do that. I can always throw up something up for Finley. We can do some Panther photos or something of that nature. I got you there as well. And then my boy, Jake, he'll try to donate to me when he can. $50 dono from my boy Jake. This is actually one of my friends that used to live here in the neighborhood that ended up moving to Arizona and then to Dallas. And every once in a while he'll throw up Touchdown, Ravens. He'll throw like a 1 or a 2 or a 5 or a 10. This is his biggest dono to me, I believe, ever. Thank you so much. Touchdown, Ravens. Thank you, Jake. I definitely was not expecting that. Thank you. And he knows. He's like, I'm going to hook you up with the Cash App because I know you need it. Appreciate that, Jake, my boy. Bang, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang. Appreciate you. And Jake is a Steeler fan. Brother, thank you so much. Tucker with the extra point, and it's good. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you. I miss you too, bro. Thank you. That's the biggest you've ever donated to me on the channel, isn't it? I appreciate that. I miss you, man. You know, I'm just grinding it out, dude. You know what I mean? To be able to do this for 11 years, you know, this is my 7th year on YouTube now, 11 years in, lots of blood, sweat, tears. It took me 10 years with 2 or 3 jobs to finally get to a point to be able to do this full time. And, you know, it's a dream come true. And my 40s have been very, very good to me. And I feel, you know, from 40 to 50, you know, as long as I can keep healthy, that it's going to be a very productive year in 2023. Hopefully we can just get the sub count up and we can get more people in the room. But again, you know, it's about quality over quantity. And thank you so much, man. Let me know what you want to see for photos. And I got you guys. So let me know what you want. Mike says I can do photos. I can get something for, I can get something from, oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I remember that. That food that you sent me was good. You know, it was like a couple pizzas and was it like wings for like Super Bowl? Ribs. Oh, yeah. Ribs in the deep dish. I remember that. That was because that was for like Super Bowl. That was so good. Yeah, I thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate you. You know, I normally, you know, I don't really do anything like that because I'm just working and whatnot, but it definitely was a really nice treat. I think I ended up having one of the pizzas. I think you got me 2 pizzas, 2 or 3 pizzas, and then a couple things of ribs. And I remember I had one pizza, maybe like when I first got it, you know, I was like, ooh, I want to try this out. So it was like a day or 2 after I got it, then did one of the pizzas, and then obviously saved the ribs for the, you know, the Super Bowl and the festivities. So. All right, let me get the Isaiah Likely photo up here, and then we'll do some photos for y'all.
All right, we'll see how both those teams fare in the second half, but we also have to talk. We've already seen the Packers were 4-8, but if we've learned anything over the years, we should never doubt Aaron Rodgers, okay? Relax. We've got Green Bay just 1 win away from an unlikely return to the playoffs. We've got Steve Kornacki and Kristen joining us to break it all down.
All right, here's the Isaiah Likely. I knew I had that one up here. I don't know. I think for me, it's just I'm so passionate about sports that it just gets to a point where my patience runs really thin, right? With like shitty football or shitty sports. And that's why I stopped watching the NBA, because it's not a good product. And for me to be able to be like, well, I loved the NBA when I was a kid, so I'm just going to stick with it even if it sucks. Or like when Vince McMahon was running WWE and it was horrible during COVID for like 2 years. Why am I going to sit through 3 or 4 hours of wrestling for one good match? Just because of the loyalty factor? Because I was so loyal to you guys for my entire childhood that I'm forced to be loyal when the product is garbage? No. You know, we have a lot of other things that are going on, and I'm not going to sit through, you know, a horrible basketball game or, you know, 3 hours of wrestling for one maybe good match. It's not worth it. And I feel the NFL used to be up here. I feel like the NFL this year it's kind of fucking nosediving. And the only thing that's going to save it is obviously getting rid of all these Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night games, because we are going to the playoffs. So that's good. It's going to save it. You know what I mean? But we have to have a really good playoffs to kind of make up for this season. You know, and I think most people are just like shoving it under the rug, acting like this season wasn't that bad. There's been more horrible football games this year that have been watched and not watched than I can ever remember. I just hope it gets better because I am starting to turn into like a jaded fan where my love for the NFL is starting to like dwindle a little bit. Like I always loved the NFL, college football, wrestling, but now with like NASCAR and baseball kind of up here, NBA is down in the shitter, right? College basketball is in the shitter. I hope NFL doesn't go in the shitter for me because I'm still going to do NFL games, but God, I mean, you got to help us out. I mean, we can't be sitting through 3-3 football. You know, thank God they got the touchdown there at the end, but fuck, brutal. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't agree, just really ask yourself, if you weren't part of like NWSF or like a community or had people to talk to, would you be watching this game? And the chances are the answer is no, you wouldn't be watching the game. So, but at least we have some fun people where we can talk and hang out and vibe. So, Sarah with a $5. Appreciate you. Yeah, we haven't seen Hybrid in a while. Bang, bang, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. $5 holla. All right, let's get some photos here. They got the rules. All right, let me get some photos for you real quick before you go, dude. Let me get you, because I know you got to go to bed and you got rules at the hospital or whatever. So let me do some photos real quick here for Alan, and let me get some Cowboy photos up, and then we'll go to Jake, and then we'll go to Sarah, since he only has like a couple minutes left, like 19 minutes before he's got to go, or maybe even sooner than that. So let's try to cheer him up and let's take care of him, because that's what we do here. Let me get you some quality photos here. Hit you with the Dak. Always been a fan of Dak. I know there's a lot of haters. You know, the only thing you guys need is better coaching. You guys get Sean Payton, then that would solve the problems that you guys have. If I'm a Dallas fan, that's what I'm rooting for. If I hit you with Zeke, I got to hit you with the Tony Pollard too. And even though I know a lot of people are haters towards the Cowboys, I want them to win a playoff game. I'm sick and tired of them fucking getting to the playoffs and everyone talking shit. I just want them to be able to win a playoff game. Fuck it. Make the NFC Championship game this year, next year, or the year after. I mean, I know if they had Sean Payton, they could do it, but I'm not sure with McCarthy and Kellen Moore. But, they have a fun team. They have a good quality team. They just need better coaching. Just the haters want to be haters.
Next week, a very winnable Seattle could finish 9-8, and yet
I don't buy into all the bullshit. All the bullshit that you get on TV. NFL Network, ESPN, all that other bullshit that they talk about. Try to shove the Buffalo Bills down your throat and tell you how horrible the Cowboys in New England are, even after Brady's not there. Just gets old, man. It's like, come up with a new narrative.
Win. And remember, they lost to Seattle during the regular season, so the Lions need to win in Lambeau and have the Seahawks lose. That's how Detroit would get it.
It's crazy. Week 18 coming up.
All right, let me hit you with one more. Let me hit you with like an old school Emmitt Smith, and I know you got to go. Something to cheer you up, brother.
Didn't play well, turnovers, but the thing that I think they've improved defensively, Green Bay, their defense getting takeaways. Jair Alexander said they were going to have a great day today, and they did.
No doubt, Coach. These guys are like Lazarus coming back from the dead. And they've done it as a team, but don't go to sleep on this Detroit team, particularly their offense. Jared Goff playing as well as he can play. two big-time runners, receivers, and tight end. They're tough to stop.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to take Aaron Rodgers making some plays. It was that game after that loss to Detroit the first time where we saw the emergence of Christian Watson.
All right, one last one of Emmett.
It's dangerous. They're gonna-
And I'll talk to you soon. And like I said, keep in touch with me.
7 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was impressive. All right, coming up.
All right, one more Emmett for you.
The New York Football Giants. But first, Toyota.
And then we'll go to Jake's photos and do some for Sarah. There we go. Ooh, there we go.
I know you don't like voicemails, but I hope you're doing great. I wish I was with you.
Appreciate you, Alan. No problem. Absolutely, dude. And I'll pull up plenty of other photos when you have a chance to come in. Just let me know. You know, just message me. When if I'm online, just make sure you say what's up, and then I'll take care of you, man. Have a good rest of your night, and just try to get mentally stronger day by day. And like I said, you'll be out of there sooner than you know it, and then you'll hopefully be able to enjoy the nice playoff run that Dallas will have this year.
Three-time Olympic medalist skier Michaela Schifrin is chasing history. 3 wins in 3 days this week after an A World Cup win, too shy of Lindsey Vonn's female record.
All right, Jake. So, Jake, you want food? Is that what you were saying? You want those food photos? I'm going to scroll up here.
Congratulations to Brian Daboll and the Giants, their first playoff berth since 2016.
Oh, yeah, Maria. The G is back, baby. Daniel Jones, he was great. The running game, the usual formula that's gotten them to this point, got it done today.
All right, let's see here.
Purple Gatorade basketball team had it. I love it. Jason Garrett didn't wear his New York Giants shirt when he was a kid for no reason. All right, guys, back in Baltimore tonight, halftime performer Express.
Lou Malnati's.
Voice, it's Freeland gets Baltimore fans hyped.
All right, let's do some photos here of some food that Jake ended up getting me for Super Bowl last year. They got deep dish. They got all kinds of amazing things. Reflect in the building. What to do? Renee in the building. What to do? Yeah, they don't fuck around with the pizza. I mean, there's a reason why people are so overweight in Chicago, because the portions are just fucking insane. Like one deep dish piece of pizza is like 4 of ours here.
I get it. Health insurance can get expensive and signing up can take time. But here's the deal. We know you need it. I know I need it. I'm an actor, so I'm an independent contractor, which means I know freelancers, self-employed, small businesses, everyday folks go through to get the coverage they need and not break the bank. Take it from me. Go to OregonHealthcare.gov. It'll be the easiest adult thing you do to get the coverage you need.
Oh, man, this is bringing back memories, dude. Ooh, baby. So good. So tasty.
Just announced in time for the holiday. Get 1.9% APR for 5 years on all 2022 GMC Sierra light duty crew cab models. Visit your local dealer today.
And then let me throw up a Troy Polamalu for my boy, because I know he's a Steelers fan. So we got some pizza from Lou Malnati's. I've been to Chicago once and got a chance to eat some of that pizza out there, and it's definitely makes you not want to eat pizza when you come home, when you have pizza like that, ribs and everything else. But Jake's a big Steeler fan, always has been, so I'd get you some of that. And then I think I'm trying to get everyone taken care of here. And then Sarah, what do you want? You want Dallas Clark. I got you.
Working with law enforcement to resolve conflicts. The game changers making it all happen. We see what you do, and we support you.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of all rights, including the use of this broadcast. Any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
And Week 17 concludes with Monday Night Football at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN. Stream games live on your mobile phone with NFL Plus.
Tonight's first half highlights are brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
A lot on the line, and as usual, it is tense and tight for the Steelers and Ravens. As we start the third quarter, let's break that first half for you. 2/3 of their plays in the first half running plays. Second,
Look at this old graphic that I found.
all year. They're allowed to run it. J.K.
You'll get a kick out of this one, Sarah.
on his way to a third 100-yard rushing game against the Steelers. Nobody's ever done that in their first career.
I gotta take the banner down so we can see what the number is. 332. Dallas Clark with the routes run. Heath Miller, old school name, Gronk. Pretty cool.
The Bengals have their huge game against the Bills tomorrow night that has many implications for seeding at the top of the AFC. But for the AFC North, if Baltimore wins here tonight, they hold on to this lead in the game next Sunday in Cincinnati.
Take care, man. I love you and I appreciate you.
Quarter 3 begins.
Reflect's in the building. How are you? 10-3 Ravens. I mean, it was a snooze fest there, but at least we got a touchdown there at the very end from Isaiah Likely. But 3-3 for 99% of the first half is the type of thing that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's just us as fans, we deserve better. You know, I feel bad for the fans that spend thousands of dollars to go to the game and they're watching a 3-3 game or like I mean, that's not worth the money. You know, I mean, I love, going to games and like being there, you know what I'm saying? But, Minka and Cam Hayward kind of going at each other there on the sideline. Huntley. Mark Andrews tried to hurdle. Nice attempt there. Tyler Huntley going down to Mark Andrews. First down, Ravens. Move the chains. Oh, nice. Seth Anderson.
Let's take away the run. Let's see what he can do. 215 yards rushing against us last time. We can't allow that to happen. But so far, Huntley has been up to it.
Those Steelers on the line. 6 of them across the front. Highsmith put in there, along with a few plays, but he still does a nice job to gain a couple of yards.
Yeah, let's take a look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin decided to do here tonight. There's the 6-man front right there. So you're going to have almost every offensive lineman occupied. You're going to have an opportunity to get some run-throughs. Mark Robinson's in there. Robert Spillane has been in there. And we also have seen a little bit of DeMarvin Leal. And that has been a surprise. So fewer defensive backs in the game and more big guys has been the answer.
Guard motions out. Huntley's going to be the runner here.
Huntley, short gain.
Highsmith attacking the ball. Minimal gain there is going to bring him third down.
There's Robert Spillane right there, who's picked up right where he left off in the first half of this ball game. He has sort of been that guy that has been the elusive one inside. We talk so much about the Ravens and what they're able to do with Queen and Smith with their speed.
Yeah, great. Dallas, obviously, if you ended up watching him, he just seems like a really cool, genuine dude. Mark Andrews, first down, Ravens. And it shows you Mark Andrews' value, not only in fantasy, but in general, as it's not as high without Lamar there. And even when Lamar is playing, sometimes, you're like, okay, this guy is the second best tight end in the league. Like, he should be getting way more opportunities, but we obviously know Huntley and third string, fourth string, these guys have limitations, but at least it's nice that they're going to Mark Andrews early and often. I wish they would have done this when I was in the fantasy playoffs. I mean, he kind of screwed me over, but Josh Jacobs as well. But it was really more Josh Jacobs and Justin Fields. Those are the two that really screwed me over. Oh, no. Okay, no problem. Yeah, anytime, if you end up getting better or just comment, let us know. And I wish you had social media like Twitter or Instagram or something so that way I can message you and keep up with you. Tell you thank you after the stream for all your donos and just to see how you're doing. But I know that you don't really do a whole lot of social media. I mean, even doing this is one thing, you know what I mean? And obviously getting your granddaughter to help you with Cash App, is a whole nother thing. But yeah, I hope everything goes well, and we'll be waiting for you here, and we'll be grinding it out. We always love having you in the room, bro.
Like knights sworn to protect our kingdom. We knew it wouldn't last forever, but
Yeah, hopefully things just get better, man. It's just, I always will wear my, my heart on my sleeve, and I always will just be honest and real, and I can't sugarcoat stuff. Things are good. You guys are going to know it. When things are bad, you're going to know it. It's a lot better than just being dishonest and fake and acting like everything is fine when it really isn't, It's a horrible way to live, to act like things are okay and keep things inside, which a lot of us do, but, I never will do that here. But hopefully we'll get a little bit more scoring, so. Yeah, well, I hope the infection gets better, because like I said, the streams are always better when you're in them. That's facts. There's just certain people that have that personality, and they always have something to say, something to comment on, and keeps the stream going. So, do I actually, what's crazy? Remember when Pizza Hut and like Domino's used to be cheap? Like, I was actually going through Godfather's and Bellagio's, and I was going through some like pizza options. Dude, even pizzas through like Pizza Hut and Domino's that used to be cheap, they're like $20, $30 on like Grubhub. And I know sometimes they increase the prices on there to make more profits, but I was like, wow. Yeah, I've never had one. I actually got Bellagio's, and I decided to do something different for once. I usually get like a all meat pizza. But I actually got a barbecue chicken pizza for the very first time. I was craving it. And then I ended up getting some like jalapeno bread, like breadsticks and stuff. But then they forgot the ranch. And obviously it's already hot as hell. Thank God I had ranch here. But I mean, I bought it not just for me, but, maybe for some of the others, down the road. But at least it'll give me something to snack on later tonight. But 10-3 Ravens. You're going to hang out tonight with us?
That's what he immediately went to grab. That's what they were looking at. Athletic training staff taking him into the medical tent for further examination. And there's the man replacing him, 6th year out of San Diego State.
Just wish I could have had both of those last two streams. And then if I would have done the fumble. If I would have been able to do the TCU Michigan, then the same thing would have happened with that as well. But at least on the bright side, I didn't pay, $35, and then have it just get taken down and not even being able to get used. So, but then it was also good to see that even though I didn't pay, I can still make stuff myself that can get views. It's like I got more views on the two that I made myself than what the ones that I was, paying him, besides like the NASCAR ones and the baseball ones. Those ones definitely helped a lot. But as far as NFL, I mean, some college football ones work, some not so much. I guess it depends on the matchup, but the college football ones normally would be halfway decent. But the baseball ones, like for the playoffs and NASCAR, now most of those ones get some pretty good results. But just would be nice to get like the same type of results for all of them, but Obviously, it depends on the matchup and if you get recommended as a stream to watch or not. So just would be really nice to be able to have like a big stream once a month. You know, give me an opportunity to grow once a month. You know, give me a chance to gain 20 to 50 subs in one stream. You know, especially if I'm grinding every day and some months I'm not even getting that. You know what I mean? So it's like you can get more in one stream than you can get in 2 months of 60 streams if you just get a chance to be able to like put yourself in front of more people. That's what the crazy thing is. And then obviously the big boys, they get promoted like every stream. You know what I mean? It's like every stream they do, they get promoted. You know, I don't need to be promoted every stream, but you can at least recommend me a couple times in a month. You know, that'd be nice. Nice catch by Mark Andrews.
Something about Andrews, he just has one extra gear over great athletes, even sometimes safeties and even corners. They separate. He is the most consistently open guy on the Ravens team.
Double catching the secure to give them third and makeable. 36.
3rd down and 6. Huntley trying to shake and bake and getting popped on the sideline. No, Josh, I'm not going to be able to do any of the games tomorrow. I would do the Cotton Bowl and the Rose Bowl, but it's on, and I believe my girlfriend has work tomorrow through Verizon, and we share a space here to, you know, I do the recordings in here, and she works in here usually from 7 to 4. And so if, you know, she's working in here, you know, sometimes she's answering phone calls, you know, doing like Zoom calls. Sometimes it's emails. So I can't be live streaming if she's in here. It just wouldn't work. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do those tomorrow. 51-yarder is up. And it's good. Justin Tucker, leg of steel. Nice kick, baby. 13-3, Ravens. Are you off tomorrow? Are they making it based off it being New Year's that tomorrow people are off? I guess if she's not working tomorrow, yeah. If she's not working tomorrow, then maybe I can do some of those things. I mean, I'm already going to be doing the Bengals and the Bills, so. How much snow you got out where you are, Josh? I know you're a Utah fan, so that's why you asked. And normally I'll be rooting for you and I'll be rooting for USC. I want the Pac-12 to finish strong. And we're doing well. I think we're like 2-1 or 3-1 in bowl games right now. I think overall as a conference. So that's good. I mean, if you guys win and then if USC wins, you beat Penn State, which you should, and USC beats Tulane, which they should, right? Then I think the Pac-12 will be like, what, 5-1 or something of that nature, where we're only going to have like one loss and possibly like 4 to 5 wins. That's the best that I think we've ever done. Like, you know, since they've, you know, reformatted this whole format. Normally, you know, we're on the opposite end where we're like 1-5 or, you know, 2-6, you know, we're not doing very good. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for you guys. 2 feet. Where are you at? Are you in Utah? Where are you living at, Josh? I'm out here in Oregon. Man, 2 feet of snow. You got enough food? Everything good with like food and like warmth and everything? That's crazy. What's up, Will? Happy New Year. Utah. Okay, that's where you know, educate me, Josh, because I mean I'm not, you know, obviously in geography in school anymore. So where is Vernal, Utah? Is that northern, southern? Is that near like Salt Lake City? I mean, obviously I could pull it up on Google and look, but it'll probably be easier for you to tell me like how close you are. Like how close are you to the like one of the bigger cities? Is it northern, southern? I always like to learn something new when I'm talking to people, so kind of get an idea of where you're at and Northeast. Oh, okay. Is a good chunk of Utah like buried in snow, or is it just your general area? And you know what? A lot of people have, gone through the ups and the downs, anxiety, right? Depression, and obviously things of that nature as well. And I think a lot of us will struggle with certain things. We go through ups and downs, and sometimes we get triggered with certain things. And sometimes you got to be strong and find things that are important to you. So if you know you're going to be going down a path that you know is bad, or it's going to lead to more drinking and more, recreational stuff that maybe you shouldn't be doing. So like for me, it's like I spend time with Paisley, and that tries to kind of, put up a wall for me, like knowing, okay, I can go party and I can do this and this, but if I do that, then I'm going to be spending way too much money. I'm going to feel like shit the next day. It might affect me streaming the next day. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just try to find an alternative. Luckily, we have like gummies and all kinds of, recreational shops, obviously close to my house. So if I ever think I want to go down one of those other paths, I can just pop a couple gummies, wait 30 minutes, and then just be comfortable and hang out with Paisley. And then usually I'm pretty good. And then I don't have any thoughts of trying to do, hang out with people that I shouldn't be hanging out with. And I try to stay focused because, you know how that goes. Everyone's got good friends, and some of us have bad friends or party friends. Or sometimes we just feel, like a little mentally weak, where we feel that, okay, we know what we're going to be doing is bad, and we know it's going to cost money, and we know we're going to feel like shit the next day, but sometimes we still do those things. You know what I mean? And then you just have to get to a point where you have to just, say enough is enough, or you have to try to limit, those type of things. Otherwise, that's when people get addiction problems, where they start getting addicted, and then they start doing those repetitive patterns, not just once a week for like Friday nights, but then they start doing it like 3 times a week. And then depending on if you have a job or not, then people get fired, you lose your job. Maybe you don't have enough money for rent. I mean, I've had a lot of situations in my life, and also with my friends. I mean, like I said, it's one of those things. I think it's universal, but anytime, if you ever need a help, you can always reach out, and there'll probably be other people that you could always reach out to, professional help as well, if you feel you need it. But we'll always be here for you. I think a lot of us either have gone through addiction, depression, or anxiety ourselves, either through drinking or drugs, or if we haven't, we know someone close that has. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, there's a lot of people that do recreational stuff, but also people take it to that next level, and then they kind of lose control of their life a little bit, and that's why, I try to stay focused, try to be a good example and grind. But also too, I'm I always was a big partier. Like I always have a lot of people that I know, and some good, some bad, and I definitely get invited to go to a lot of different events and things. But I just know myself that if I say yes and I meet up with these people, chances are I'm going to be spending way too much money, and I'm going to feel like shit, and it probably will take me down. Ooh, nice catch. It'll probably take me down a bad path, So George Pickens. Nice catch right there. Yeah, but if you ever need help, you know what I mean? Even if it's just someone to talk to and hang out, and me to throw up some pictures, we can, vibe. I mean, we're going to be hanging out a lot together, Mike, obviously with NASCAR and whatnot. But some of you guys don't know, with Mike is one of our older OGs. We have people as young as 10 or 11 on the channel, but we have people that are 70, 80, 90 years old, a little up there, as far as knowledge and age, like Mike. And I really appreciate people like that, because, not only do you get someone that is smarter than you, that you get someone that might know a little bit more than you with certain things like NASCAR. And I always like to pick people's brains. I'm 40, even though I look young, but I know there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of information that I don't know. And I like picking the brains of those type of people. That's for sure. And anytime I can be a good influence, I'm always going to try to do my best to be there for you. If you're going to take care of me, I'm going to definitely do my part and take care of you. So I hope things get a little bit better for you. Wow, 19 below, Josh. Wow. So do you work from home, Or do you actually have to get out into the weather and like go to your job? Because I was going to say, with 2 foot of snow, you must have like either like a truck or SUV. Like I imagine a lot of people, they got Subarus or lifted trucks, or, you're going to have like an all-terrain vehicle out there in Utah. I guess if you don't, then you're not going nowhere. If you just got like a regular, Honda Civic, you're only going to get so far before you get stuck, and then you just have to walk, or you work from home, or you find other ways to get to work if someone like swoops you and picks you up and whatnot. But nice run there by Warren off the catch. George Pickens with that nice catch on the previous play. And then we have Jaylen Warren here. Hopefully he's okay. And then we have another injured body.
Pittsburgh has done on offense this year. Deontay Johnson injured.
And then Deontay Johnson on the ground. Not good. Oh, dude, hell yeah. That's awesome. How long have you been doing that? So you're a grinder then. Like I said, I got a lot of people, normally when I do work, it was either like sales, where I would do like phone sales, or I would do warehouse work and I would unload trailers, and it would be like 40-foot trailers, 120 degrees. And sometimes we'd have to unload like 7 or 8 of them with only like 4 or 5 guys. And each trailer would take, over an hour, to unload, sometimes hour and a half, even with 4 or 5 guys, because when we were doing like, saw equipment and stuff like that, and some of the saws, some stuff would weigh 10 pounds to 20 pounds. Other saws and accessories would weigh like 400, and you'd have to have another guy help you with some of the saws and some of the boxes. Wow, that's crazy, man. So a drilling company, truck and throw the tire chains on and just go and drill for oil. Oh, okay. How far away do you got to go for your job? Do you have to go like an hour or 2 away from your house, or is it relatively close to where you live? Dude, much respect, dude. That's awesome. 20 years. Congrats, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. Like I said, I've known a lot of people that, do the blue collar work and the white collar work. I've done both. And I think that, once you end up doing something where you're working with your hands, and people think, oh, you're just, doing this, but like people don't realize like how that takes a toll on your mind and your body. Like, you could end up doing like stuff like sales, face to face or over the phone, and you can be drained. But the type of, physical draining that you get from a physical job like that, I imagine that there's been some long days. And yeah, much respect, man. That's awesome. 20 years too. So you've definitely stuck with it. That's awesome. Congratulations with that. Only 30 minutes. That's not too bad. So at least you don't at least when you're tired, you don't have to be like, fuck, now I got to drive an hour and a half home. At least it's only like 30 minutes. And that's usually like a normal commute for most people, 30 minutes to an hour. So that's awesome, dude. Yeah, and like I said, with me, I used to drink pretty often, and even on the streams like last year, I would just drink, because I was streaming for 4 to 5 hours, so I just wanted to have like a Corona with lime, or do like the Modelo Cheladas, the pineapple beer, the mango beer. But then it got me pretty fat. I just was drinking 2 or 3 every stream, and tall boys and whatnot, or drinking 6 Coronas or whatever, and it costs a lot of money doing that too. So I've definitely tried to cut back and do more Gatorades and like Snapple, even though Snapple has some sugars and whatnot, like Mango Madness, and do that. But I've lost weight, and I'm trying to walk with my puppy more too. And I got a Staffordshire, kind of like in the Pitty family, and she's a little over a year. So I try to, spend time with her, because I'm the one that spends the most time. I'm the one that walks her, feeds her, snugs her, spends time with her, And then usually after I'm done streaming, I just spend my time with her. And, as far as mental health is concerned, I was in a dark place before I got her, and she definitely saved my life for sure.
They felt like they had the edge up front. So now some big substitutions coming in. Justin Madubuike comes back in the game. Justin Houston comes
All right, 13-3 Ravens. I love this group. You know what I mean? Like I said, sometimes, you know, you want to have like so many people in the room, but I never will take for granted when we have like 20 people or less, because it does give us a chance to get to know each other. You know, when you have 100 people in the room and the comments are flowing, you never have a chance to really get to know anyone unless you already know them before. So, you know, once we get bigger, and if we do get to a point where we have like 50 to 100 in the room pretty consistently, and we don't have time to like link up, I will do a special stream for like a select 20 or 30, like a private stream. So that way we can kind of all talk and get along and hang out if we ever get to that point, which I know we will. But it's always nice to be able to have kind of that more like romantic setting with less people. It's like if you were going to go see like Metallica with 1,000 people, or if you went to go see Metallica and it's 100,000 people, it's a little different vibe. You know, you could be like a smaller building, but you just feel a little bit more engaged with the people when it's less. And, but obviously you have to have the right people, you know, to be able to make a living if it's going to be, you know, less people. And for me, thankfully we do. So I appreciate you guys tremendously. Yeah, I've really tried to change. I mean, I even got to a point where I quit it completely. You know, like I'm not, you know, like honestly though, almost a big sack lunch tipped in the air. Like honestly, I've only had one beer in the last 3, 4, 5 months. And that was when my buddy wanted me to go to a Blazer game. So we went to go to an arcade. We went to Ground Control, 2-3 level arcade. And, you know, we played a few games, beat like Sunset Riders, you know, Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. We beat X-Men and Sunset Riders. Then we went to go get this amazing pizza and wings. And my buddy still drinks beer. So I was like, you know, I don't really want to drink, but I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not addicted to alcohol. So it's not like if I drink a beer or two, oh my God, I got to start drinking all the time now. Kick is up. And it's good. Nice kick by Boswell there. But yeah, I've only had one beer, you know, during that Blazer game and that arcade pizza session, and I haven't had one since. So, you know, I just don't have the need. Like for me, I'd rather just do gummies and whatnot. I mean, I live here in Oregon, so everything's legal. So, I mean, I've never really been a big alcohol guy or beer guy, but I am trying to, like my dad's got diabetes. We've had people in the family pass away, like my grandma and a few other people. So I know that I need to watch my weight. I'm 40. You know, I'm trying to get down to about, you know, 200 to 225. I was already up past 250. You know, obviously last year started making changes, lost about 25 to 30 pounds, but still now I'm kind of plateaued around 220, 225. So I still got another about 20, 25 to go, but I feel so much better, you know, not drinking every day, and you're saving money. You're feeling better, and everyone's got vices. You know, everyone's got certain things they go to, whether, you know, it's recreational stuff or stuff that's not as, you know, as big of a deal. But, you know, having, you know, different dispensaries close to my house, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to really do flower, you know what I mean? Like I smoked my first pre-roll for the first time like last week, and that was the first pre-roll I had in like 6 months. But usually I'll just get some really high-end gummies, and, you know, you take two. There's no smell, no cotton mouth. You take two, you wait 30 minutes, and then you're good for like 2 hours. And they're pretty powerful. So, and that usually is good for me. And I can get a box of like 10, 100 milligram for like $11, and that could last 3-4 days. So, I mean, that's a lot better than spending $80 or $100 or $200 on other things. You know what I mean? So I just try to spend time with my, my puppy, and, you know, just try to read a lot too and keep busy. Speaking of that, I need to go check up on my puppy here in a second. There we go. I mean, we were right there. And like I said, if it wasn't that particular setting with my friend, I wouldn't have, you know. And like I said, I don't even think I even finished the whole beer that I had. I think we had some kind of like specialty beer, you know, like it was like a little bit more expensive one. I think I drank 3/4 of it with the pizza, and I didn't even want another one. It was just, you know, I did it because I was hanging out with him. But yeah, so I mean, I feel much better without drinking, and I don't really have any need to drink. So the Colorado, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my face is thinner, and like I said, I was over 250. Now I'm down to like 220, 225. So I think most people that have seen me, I feel, you know, I'm thinner. My face is thinner. I think I look healthier, and I'm trying to eat better. I'm eating more veggies and fruits, and I'm just trying to put Paisley, you know, as a priority, and I'm just trying to stay away, you know, from some of the party animals that I know, because some of these people that I know, they're 30, 40 years old, and they're still playing beer pong and partying like almost like every couple days. I'm like, I know some of these people have jobs and some of them don't, but I was like, bro, I got dreams and goals. Just because you don't got no dreams or goals or whatever, and you just want to fucking play beer pong. I mean, that might be cool when I was like 15 or 20, or maybe even when I'm in my mid 20s, but I'm 40 now, bro. It's like, you can't be calling me and asking me to go, oh, let's go play beer pong and party. I was like, bro, I got shit to do. I got dreams and goals. Like, I sacrificed a lot to get where I am. I'm not going to, you know, throw it away just so we can go fucking get fucked up for a couple hours. It's not worth it. So you got to be able to make some tough decisions sometimes. You want some Grateful Dead picks? I got you. Huntley, hands off. Short game. 13-6 Ravens. I should take some pictures of my dad's house and be able to see his hippie room. If I showed you all the Grateful Dead stuff that my dad has, you would lose your fucking mind. Concert tickets, blown up photos, just autographs. I mean, he's got a huge Grateful Dead collection. My dad and my stepmom. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a TJ Watt sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Wow. Sack lunch by TJ. I got Mark Andrews in fantasy right now too. But the thing is that he's so limited, you know, with Huntley. And even when Lamar was playing, right, he wasn't really getting him the ball. Early in the season, it was good numbers. And then it started to trickle off, and it wasn't very good. Like, I'm battling with Sarah, obviously, for third place. But I was the number one team all year. I was 13-1. And my team by far had the best roster, top to bottom. And then Sarah was number 2 at 10-4. And then we both fucking lost in the playoffs to teams that were worse than us. Shepard and Jake ended up beating us with the 3 seed and the 4 seed. But what made it the worst is that I ended up losing by less than a point. You know what I mean? And I ended up getting 9 points out of Justin Fields, 5 out of Josh Jacobs. And I think Andrews got me like 7.5. And I was like, well, you know, and I don't even blame Andrews with a 7.5 because that's kind of what he was getting. But when Josh Jacobs was getting like 15, 20, 25, 40, 45, and then you hit me with a 5 in the playoffs, like, you motherfucker. And then obviously Justin Fields, I know that he's going to have bad games and sometimes he's limited with throwing, but 9 for a dual quarterback that can run and throw, that was unreal. I thought at the lowest that Fields would get would be like a 14 or 15, and then I ended up losing. But like right now it's 121-69. I'm projected for 124, Sarah 103, and it's best of 2 weeks. And then these guys, it's Shep 92, Jake 90, but Shep is projected for 144 and Jake is projected for 111. I don't know. It's just kind of bullshit when I look at the team that, like, teams that are supposedly better. Gardner Minshew, Zeke, Connor, Chase, Watson, Hawkinson, Walker, Jacksonville, D, and Gano. Come on. That Jake's team, you know, and the only reason Jake's team advanced is because Hawkinson threw up like a 40-point game in that playoff week, and that took him to the next level. If that didn't happen, then he wouldn't have advanced. And then Shepard has Burrow, Mixon, Higgins, and then Devontae Adams, Ingram, Pittman, New England D and Maher, Cordarrelle Patterson, Jamal Williams, and some other people. And then I'll read off my team here to you. But it's just sad. I've never had a team this good and also be 13-1 and then to lose by less than a fucking point. And what the crazy thing is that he had Michael Pittman, and it took him into the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go, right? And it was fourth down. So if Michael Pittman makes the catch for 2 yards, he wins. If he doesn't make the catch, I win. And lo and behold, with 2 minutes left, last play of the game for the Colts, motherfucker catches the ball for like a 2-yard gain and then beats me by like 0.60, and then I lose. So fantasy can be very, very cruel. And like I said, the last 4 years, I've gotten third or second. It's just frustrating, you know what I mean? Like, especially when I put like so many hours of time and, I made over 100 moves, to perfect the roster top to bottom, and it still didn't matter. So, but here's my team: Justin Fields, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, Chris Godwin, Mark Andrews, Jerick McKinnon, Dallas Cowboy D, Jason Myers, Seattle's kicker, my bench, Nick Chubb, Bills D, DeAndre Hopkins, Geno Smith, Gerald Everett, Darren Waller, Latavius Murray. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way in hell I should have lost. But sometimes you have those guys that you assume are going to hit. And in that game, I had 4 guys shit the bed out of 9, and he had 1. 8 out of his 9 hit, and I guess that's what happens. And Sarah's team, Josh Allen, Jeff Wilson, A.J. Dillon, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Kelce, Gabe Davis, Colts D, Daniel Carlson, Mike Williams, Kareem Hunt, Tampa Bay D, Ayuk, Lawrence, Gesicki, and Pickens. So, I mean, it just, I don't, fantasy can be so fucking unfair. Yeah, we're doing it. This is our 4th year. So, yeah, usually what I'll do is I'll do a video, and then people will message me, and then we'll have a couple spots open. We usually just do a 10-man league. I don't know if I'm going to switch to Yahoo instead of ESPN, but every time I do the ESPN league, nothing ever good happens for me. And like I said, and like I would say, a good chunk of the team I drafted. I mean, of course I picked up, certain pieces, but I had like Herbert and Andrews were the only ones that got hurt for me for a couple weeks. But other than that, I didn't have any major injuries. And I drafted Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Jefferson, Godwin, Andrews, Chubb, Buffalo D, DeAndre Hopkins. And then I ended up picking up guys like Geno Smith and Jason Myers to help me stay afloat. Got Dallas D, like week 1 on the wire, McKinnon on the wire, Justin Fields on the wire. But yeah, it's just fantasy football can be a motherfucker. Yeah, but I don't think you're going to get that many points. He barely has gotten anything like that even all year. Like, I would know because I have him and I know, but so here's like Mark Andrews' numbers: 10, 25, 28, 3.5, 22, and then 23, right? So for the first 6 weeks of the season with Lamar, he was awesome. Besides week 4 against Buffalo, 3.5. And then ever since he got hurt and Lamar got hurt, look at these numbers: 0.4, motherfucker, 6.3, nothing, a bye week, and then 12, 11, that's pretty good. And then 9, 3, 6, 7.5, and 13. So this is the first good game he's had since week 12. And obviously we know Travis Kelce's the best, but for Mark Andrews to be number 2, but like to be like 100 or 200 points behind Kelce, it's ridiculous. Like, the tight end position is shit. And I had to pick up a lot of other guys along the way, but sometimes it's hard to trust other guys. It's like you have the Dulciches and the Gerald Everetts. Can you really trust those guys? It's like sometimes you feel like you can, but it's like when Mark Andrews is there, you think, well, Mark Andrews is talented enough. If they throw him the ball, he'll catch it. But it's just like you got to get the targets. And if you have a second string like Huntley or third string, you're fucked. Because as you know, these guys suck at quarterback. They can't fucking throw the ball. And then knowing, Huntley's restrictions, chances are they're not even going to go to Andrews. They're going to go to motherfuckers like DeMarcus Robinson, and they're going to steal your opportunities, or D-Jax or someone else, Isaiah Likely. Like, get the fuck out of here, But it is what it is.
Come right back with the Kyle Hamilton blitz off the edge here, but this time Kenny Pickett is going to see it and step up in the nick of time to avoid him, and then still be able to make the play down the field. That's nice quarterback play right there.
Yeah, but this is my fourth year, of getting second or third, and I've never finished lower than third ever. You know what I mean? But this one stung the most because I put so much time, so much effort. You know what I mean? Hundreds of hours. I mean, I would be on the fantasy app 2 hours a day, and I'm normally reading on all 32 NFL teams about 4 to 6 hours a day. So I'm spending about 16 hours a day on this channel based off, reading and film study, and then the other 8 are, sleeping or hanging out with Paisley. But, if I'm not recording, I'm usually reading or watching film. And to be able to put in all that work and then to lose by less than a point, I know it happens because I have other friends that do fantasy, and it's happened to them too, but they've never had a team that's 13-1 that was built as strong as my team. Like the team that I have this year, I could probably compete with any team I've ever had in fantasy as far as like talent. I mean, and as far as like numbers, and every week I'm always projected for the most. I scored the most points in the league in the year, give up the least. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just sickening when you're projected for like 130, 140, every single week. And then other people are projected for like 100, 120. And then you just shit the bed. And I normally don't shit the bed, both weeks in fantasy. It's only 1 week. And the crazy thing was, in week 1 of the playoffs, I had all red. I've never had all red matchups before, and I still scored 140. So even when you have all red matchups, that still doesn't mean that you're going to shit the bed. And then obviously the next week, when I had a few green and neutral ones, that's when they shit the bed. And I think I only put up like a 113 or something. Stupid. Yeah. Oh, honestly, though, me and Sarah don't even give a shit. We haven't even picked up anybody after we both lost in the playoffs. Like, normally it's like I'm always picking up players and adjusting the roster. I mean, no one gives a shit about third place in fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, you're pissed. You want to win it all. Me and Sarah wanted to play each other. And then, we would have been good, you know what I mean, with one of us winning. But now we don't even get either one of us winning. So we'll have to go back at it next year. But Sarah had like the different type of strategy. She just drafted strong. She didn't really make any moves, but that's what ended up hurting her, is that she didn't have depth at running back. And they ended up killing her, obviously in the playoffs. And then for me, I made the most moves, but it still didn't matter. There was just matchups. Sometimes you just play a tough opponent in the playoffs, like a rival in the division, and then they just suck. And then you just, you're expecting, 15, 20 points and you get 5. It's brutal. Nice catch by Deontay Johnson there. 22-yard gain by Deontay Johnson. Oh, no worries, bro. Post-Christmas bankruptcy, no worries. What's the vibe of Packer fans now? Are you guys excited? You guys are getting hot and healthy at the right time. 4-8, 8-8, have a chance to go 9-8. Beat the Lions at home, which is most likely, and steal Seattle's spot. Even though Seattle deserved to make the playoffs this year, I honestly would have rather seen Seattle make it over Tampa. Like if we actually did it based off like quality teams instead of just having a divisional winner get in. Because honestly, in any team from the NFC South or the AFC South is not winning a playoff game. I know Beefy McWhat now used to live here in Oregon, and he lives in Florida, and he loves Tampa like I do. But I mean, he obviously feels that we have a shot to win playoff games and get to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game. I am the complete opposite. I think we have 0% chance. So, and it's not like I hate my team. I just know when my team is championship caliber, and I know when they're not. And I can't act like they are when they're not. Just because I'm a fan of the team, I'm like, oh yeah, Brady to Mike Evans for 3 touchdowns. We're going all the way. I mean, it was against the fucking Panthers. When you're going to go in the playoffs, they're going to be much better corners that you're not going to be able to go deep to Mike Evans for fucking 3 touchdowns. I actually really would have enjoyed us not making the playoffs, and that way we could look at post Tom Brady for draft position. But, I guess if you get in, right? And you just have to roll with it. Pickett, incomplete, throwing it to a cheerleader on the sidelines.
It really is the difference in this game, isn't it? You got the one penalty down there on Cam Hayward. They get the touchdown instead of having to kick the field goal.
All right, Kenny Pickett on that last play was going to the back of the end zone to the Ravens cheerleaders. All right, let's see if Boswell can make this. He's 2 for 3. Kick is up, right down the middle, and it's good. Well, the big reason why the Vikings are the biggest pretenders out of every good team that's in the NFC or the AFC, they don't have a defense, right? We already knew that they had a good chance to win the division and win 10 to 13 games. I know besides me, I think the only other person that really said it with confidence was Colin Cowherd, where we both agreed that maybe the Packers take a little bit of a step back. The Lions and the Bears aren't there yet, and Kevin O'Connell is the real deal. But as you've seen, the O-line at times stinks, and the defense is a liability. They don't got enough defensive players out there to stop anyone. So, yeah, you got more than 10 wins. You can have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 wins. But when it comes playoff time, you could definitely lose to a team like the Packers, who are, basically an 8-8 team. A 7-8 team. They got to 8-8, but sometimes you're going to play a team that has a shittier record, but maybe their defense is playing a little bit better and they have more balance, and then you just get your ass kicked. So, remember when the Vikings played Dallas and they ended up losing by like $1 billion? So, you got to look at balance, and balance is so important. That's why I think with like the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals, all three of those teams are great, but they don't have defense. And if you had to choose one defense out of the three, I'm probably going with Cincinnati's based on how they've been playing. They seem like they're the most well-rounded team in the AFC. The Bills had a defense, but they have injuries. And then also with the Chiefs, they have defense, but sometimes their pass rush is weak. Sometimes their secondary gets burned. They don't have like full, complete defense, and also no Von Miller. That's really going to hurt their chances, right? But all three teams, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, have amazing offenses. So they're going to outscore you. And then the teams that have the good balance are in the NFC. Eagles, Niners, Cowboys. And the last two Super Bowl winners, Rams and Buccaneers, had what? Offense and defense. So that's why, even though the Bills, the Chiefs, and Bengals are more popular, and they got the three better quarterbacks in Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes, that doesn't mean they're going to win the Super Bowl. If you got defense, you can slow those guys down. Cowboys, Niners, Eagles, one of those three teams, except probably the Cowboys, because we obviously know with McCarthy and Moore, the coaching is bad. So I don't really have a lot of trust in the Cowboys. I got more trust in the Cowboys than the Vikings and some of the other teams, but I think right now it's like Eagles, Niners are the cream of the crop, and then Dallas is below. But I need to see Dallas like play a full game, offense and defense, and I need to see brilliant play calling by Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy, and I need to see good clock management, and we just haven't been able to see that in the playoffs from them. You know what I'm saying? So if Dallas can win a game, then that'll gain the confidence, but the only way I can see Dallas taking their game to the next level, or maybe like the Chargers with Herbert, is if they get Sean Payton. Sean Payton can take Herbert to the next level, and Sean Payton with Dan Quinn could take Dallas to the NFC Championship game. That might be the only guy that has Dallas ties, Sean Payton, that could actually get Dallas to win a playoff game. But it all depends if they bring him in. But I guarantee if Sean Payton gets hired and Dan Quinn doesn't leave, that will be a team that definitely could be in the NFC Championship game consideration and could get to a Super Bowl if they had those two guys, Sean Payton and Dan Quinn. Now, will Jerry Jones make that happen? I don't know. And will Jerry Jones let Sean Payton have control? Probably not. But if it happens, then the Cowboys will be like legit. You know what I mean? Then you can start, making the comparisons if they start winning playoff games where they may not be Aikman, Irvin, Emmitt Smith, but they'll be the best they've been since that time. but they definitely need better coaching and play calling, in my opinion. So. Seahawks make it if the Lions beat the Packers, but the Packers are at home in Lambeau, though. You know what I mean? So I think the Seahawks can beat the Rams, right? But I think the Packers beating the Lions at Lambeau is, I mean, gosh, if it was in Detroit, then maybe, Detroit would be able to have that edge. But based on, certain teams getting hot at the right time, I mean, the teams that have been the hottest, Green Bay and Cincinnati, I think right now those are the teams that I don't think anyone wants to play those teams because we know how bad Rodgers and the Packers have been early on, but in the last month, they've been one of the hotter teams, and that's really what you want to be in December, hot and healthy. Nobody wants to play teams like that, and sometimes you can ride that wave all the way to the championship game or even win a playoff game or two. Oh, he dropped it. There's a Grateful Dead photo there. I know we were trying to do some Grateful Dead photos.
Big time play by Terrell Edmonds. I mean, this is one of those, this is the difference between an easy field goal and the punt team right there. Shot right on the money, and that basically was a 3-point hit.
Stand by the Steelers after giving up that return. Stout will try to pin Steven Sims in deep again.
4th and 12. Fair catch.
Not a lot of high scoring. Man's high intensity. And for snap.
When we talk about miles, we tend to think about distance.
I remember my rant about bad football and bad games. What's the score of the game right now? 13-9 in the fourth quarter. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
When it comes to the time we spend together, we're thinking of every mile.
Well, you're doing it differently. Normally, like you're the best team, like in the division and one of the best, and then you fail in the playoffs. You can't stop the run against the Niners. You can't stop the run against Tampa. You have special teams issues and you lose to the Niners, right? But now you're doing it opposite, where your team is shitty as hell like Tampa, but then now you're getting hot at the right time in December. And if you get hot at that right time, maybe that's the formula, that you have to be shitty and then you get good at the right time. And you never know. I mean, like I said, all it's going to take is for them to be able to get that first win. And who knows, maybe out of nowhere, Green Bay makes the NFC Championship game. I mean, I could definitely see that happening. Green Bay's got a better shot to go further than Tampa does, based on how we've been playing football as of late. Because like I said, you can't, it's like, oh, we have a shot. Dude, like when you play garbage football for 3.5 quarters, right? And you can't score any points. And then Brady has 2 drives in the last 5 minutes. And then we win 17-16. That's not good football. That's not going to get it done in the playoffs. Yeah, it might have got us the win, when we needed it in the regular season, but you can't play 3.5 or quarters, 3 and 3/4 quarters of shit football, have 2 drives at the end and get lucky enough to score touchdowns on both. And then you win by 1. I mean, that's just luck. It's Brady being Brady and everything kind of coming together at the end, but you can't expect that type of, play to get you all the way to the promised land. So. Yeah, but I don't think me and Sarah really care that much about the fantasy at this point because, like I said, we were trying to go for the championship game. We both got eliminated, and that doesn't happen that often either, where you have the top 2 teams get eliminated, before the championship. So, yeah, and it was nice to see Sam Darnold play well, even though that you guys lost. You know what I mean? And that's the guy. Moving forward. I mean, that's probably the one that you should have never moved away from, just stuck with him. But sometimes you got to live and you got to learn, sometimes you think, oh, maybe Baker or this guy is going to be the better option. And, this guy hasn't been very good for us. Let's give this other guy a shot. But then sometimes the supporting cast and the coaching isn't there. injuries pile up, coaching, play calling's bad, and then the guy you bring in ends up being even worse than the original guy. You know, and then you thought, Baker's so much better than Sam Darnold. But in reality, Sam Darnold is actually better than Baker Mayfield. 13-9, Baltimore, 2nd down and 4. Handoff to Warren. 1st down, Steelers. Jalen Warren with the 1st down. 7:45 left in the game. Oh, but he won't be the starter next year. They might have a spot for him. Oh, what a catch. Might have been out of bounds, though. Oh, they said they got it inbounds. Wow. Deontay Johnson. My goodness. They might have to review that, but I don't know if he actually caught that, but Kenny Pickett was looking, fired it downfield. Did he get it in? Let's look. There's the ball. 1. Out of bounds. He only had 1. Only had 1 foot. 1 foot. Yeah, and Baker might be the backup, but they're going to go for someone other than Baker. Baker ain't going to be the one that leads the team next year. I would assume that Sean McVay knows better. And plus, you know what I mean? Like, I feel that, Jared Goff is better than people think too. I think that the Rams could have eventually won or got to another Super Bowl with Jared Goff, but they just didn't want the Jimmy Garoppolo effect where if they get to the Super Bowl and they play an AFC team and then all of a sudden they can't score any points in the 4th and they lose, they didn't want to, deal with that. So that's why they made the move for Stafford, because they knew that Stafford, was still, maybe not in his prime, but just outside of his prime, but still could end up putting up some pretty good numbers. And then they ended up winning the Super Bowl. But it wasn't necessarily just Stafford and Cooper Kupp or even Aaron Donald. It really was Von Miller and OBJ. If you didn't get those two guys, there is no Super Bowl or playoff wins for that matter. Pickett, sit down. Good defense by the Ravens. I don't know. I think Tampa would be a good destination. I mean, I would take him. The Carr is not the reason why the Raiders are bad. There's a lot of other reasons that they're bad besides Carr. Carr is far from being the scapegoat. Offensive line stinks. Defensive stinks. Play calling stinks. You know what I mean? It's like Josh Jacobs has been good this year. Devontae Adams has been pretty good. Renfro and Waller have been hurt. I mean, what do you expect? No O-line, no defense. How do you expect to win games? You know what I mean? And their O-line and their defense are some of the worst in the NFL. And even with that being said, Jacobs has been pretty good this year with an absolutely trash O-line. Imagine if Jacobs had a good line or an average line, his numbers would have even been above and beyond what they were this year. But if Brady goes to the Raiders, I wouldn't mind having Carr, you know what I mean? Like having a Carr, Tannehill type player to replace Brady, because Kyle Trask isn't good enough. Yeah, that's a good question. If Lamar leaves, I mean, Tampa would be another destination where I think we wouldn't mind him there. But Lamar's got limitations as well. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't really proven that he can win a playoff game, and you could have receivers. But if he ended up having Mike Evans and Godwin, that'll be the first time that he'd have some big name guys besides a Mark Andrews. But I don't know if I really would want Lamar or Carr on the Bucs. But if it happened, of course I would accept it. I mean, anything is going to be better than Kyle Trask. So. Yep.
So yeah, a few new things. One day you might realize
I disagree. I don't think he's I think he's actually pretty good. Just because he's like the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th best quarterback, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are much worse than Carr. You know what I mean? You just got to be able to put him in a team that actually has an offensive line, that has a defense. I mean, imagine if you have no O-line, right, and you have no defense, okay? And the defense is, always on the field, and then they come off the field and then they're on the field, and then you have no time to rest. The defense can't stop anybody, right? And then the other team's scoring all these points. You can't run. They can't run block. They can't pass block. You don't have time to go to your receivers. I mean, I don't know. For me, I break down the film and watch the film, but I don't think Carr is that bad of a quarterback. Carr, Cousins, Tannehill, they're not the greatest quarterbacks. And the reason why they're never top 10 is because they're not consistent. But I can name about, 15 or 20 other quarterbacks that are much worse than those three guys. And obviously you want a little bit more consistency out of Cousins, Tannehill, and Carr. But, not everyone's going to have a top 10 quarterback. So, everyone's got their own opinions. But I think if you put Carr on a team that had good coaching, somewhat of an offensive line and defense, I think he could take a team to the playoffs. I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. Some games he plays bad, and some games he plays good. Some games are average, you know what I mean? And some games are a disappointment. But there's a lot of quarterbacks that are much worse than Carr. And it's not like Derek is like his brother David. I mean, if we're talking about shitty cars, well, let's talk about his brother. First pick in the draft that's on fucking TV. That's a shitty quarterback. If you want to talk about a shitty car, let's talk about David. Derek is 1,000 times better than his brother ever was. That's facts. Yeah, Lamar always could go down, obviously, to Miami with Tyreek. And that's obviously that's already been kind of a rumor. If he leaves Baltimore, that would be the number one destination for Lamar. You know what I mean? But again, they still need to figure out the defense and the offensive line. But Tyreek, Waddle, and Lamar would be exciting. That might be the first opportunity for Lamar to actually win a playoff game. And he would actually have wide receivers, so he wouldn't have to dance around and run as much. And then he would be able to use his arm and then finally get the kudos, I think, as being a top 10 quarterback. Because a lot of times, sometimes he'll play like a top 10 quarterback. And then like when he had his MVP year, and then he doesn't have a top 10 like ranking, but he's Lamar Jackson. So sometimes people throw him into the conversation of being a top 10 quarterback. But when you look at his stats after that MVP year, he wasn't top 10, not even close, but he's a name. You know what I mean? And so sometimes you got to get away from that, and you actually have to break down, touchdown to interception ratio, yards, and he's got limitations with his arm. He can only do so much, but it's not as bad as like a Justin Fields. Like at least Lamar has the ability to throw for 3, 4, 5 touchdowns, but he just never has had a true number one receiver ever. So. I know. You know what I mean? That's why it's funny when you get a lot of these former players and they think that they're so good on the mic. Just because you played doesn't mean that you're going to be a monster on the microphone or you have skills. You know what I mean? Like when I hear Shady McCoy, it's cringeworthy. There's just so many people, you know what I mean, that have horrible takes. It's like, they think they're Stephen A or something. It's just, Emmanuel Acho might be the worst on planet Earth. He's like baby Stephen A. You know what I mean? Him screaming, horrible takes, and just the way that they talk. It's like I could think of a billion things I'd rather do than listen to Stephen A., Emmanuel Acho, or some of these horrible people that it's like I think that they think that by yelling and screaming and having horrible takes, that's what people want to hear. Maybe that's what was popular 10 years ago, but most people want to hear like real takes, no bias, and you don't have to scream to get your point across, and that's why I think some sports talk is dying. You know what I mean? For TV and for podcasts, you've seen the ratings of ESPN go down the shitter. You've seen the ratings for Good Morning Football and NFL Network go down the shitter. There's a reason why, because a lot of the people that are on those shows aren't good. Facts. Right. But if we're going to be talking about both cars, obviously Derek is much better than David. You know what I mean? Oh, you could say the same thing about Joey Harrington when he got drafted. He didn't have any fucking offensive line, and he got happy feet, fucking got sack lunched 1 billion times. And Joey might still have been in the league as a backup or third string if he didn't get fucking, DDT'd in the ground fucking 4 billion times in the first couple years in Detroit. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you don't have an offensive line, it can ruin your career. You get happy feet, and then you start seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold, and then eventually you retire because you don't want to have fucking CTE. But I don't know. Everyone's going to have their own opinion about quarterbacks. But, like I said, with Tannehill, Cousins, and Carr, I kind of put them in the same category, somewhere between 11 through 15 over 32 quarterbacks. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. They can win you a game, but they can also lose you a game. And the reason why they're not in the top 10 is because they're not consistent. You know what I mean? But they have shown at times that they can play great football, but they've also showed at times that they can play horrible football. And that's why they're not in the top 10. So, yeah, but it would help if you actually had a better play caller, O-line, and defense. You got to think about it. If you have two good players on defense, you got Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, and Chandler Jones gets hurt a lot. You got one good defensive player. How the hell are you supposed to stop anybody? Right? And then the offense, 3 and out, defense goes out, gives up a touchdown. Then you try to go out there and get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. And then the defense gives up another touchdown. It's like you're always looking up. That's a lot of pressure. Not me. Straight trash. Fuck Stephen A. Fuck Emmanuel Acho. Fuck a lot of those people that are on TV. They're fucking bad, dude. I mean, if some people think that's like, fun entertainment, but I guess it just depends on what you like, some people like watching people get knocked out for 3 hours on videos. They just sit there and they just watch that or like watching people scream and yell at each other over nothing. You know what I mean? Some people have those like kind of toxic personalities that like seeing that violence and screaming and yelling. I mean, that's not worth my time. But sports talk is not the same as it was. And a lot of these motherfuckers are stupid. They have bad takes. They're doing it for clicks. They're saying stuff that they know isn't true just so that you can comment on their post or comment on the show. That's not real. That's just fake fabricated shit. It's like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and all these other fucking shows that are fake. Everything is already predetermined. It's stupid. So can't we get some of this genuine, honest, like not biased takes? But this doesn't exist. Not on TV or podcast. 13-9 Ravens. And one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. It's grabbed my attention since the kickoff. It's like I can't even look away. Acho's the worst. Acho is the way that he talks. He talks like he's like some fucking noble knight, and he's talking down like he's a king, and he's talking down to all his pawns and peasants like everyone else is fucking stupid, and they've just learned the English language yesterday, and he's like talking down to them. That's how he talks to people on TV. Fucking a moron, dude. Like, and the guy has horrible takes too. He's never right about anything. He's like Stephen A. Imagine being wrong at your job and you're not even a weatherman or a weatherwoman and getting paid $1 million to $8 million a year for being a fucking idiot. I wouldn't even want that job for myself. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to give you millions of dollars, but you got to be able to say things that aren't true, just for clicks and for views. Fuck that. Sometimes you got to have a backbone. Money isn't everything. Money helps, you know what I mean? But not to be someone that, who is completely fake. And that's what you get from a lot of these guys. Yeah, let me check. We think we might have one in there. Pickett. Nice catch. Freiermuth. Thank you, Mike. 1971. Oh, fucking neither one of them. I mean, it is kind of flattering knowing that people from EA Sports and Madden and NFL Network and McAfee watch the show. They have their social media team or themselves watch the show from time to time and try to come up with little, catchphrases and things that, things that they think are original that they can steal from other people and use on their shows. But, yeah, Pat's really the only one left. That's the only one I really respect and I watch. I can't watch Good Morning Football. Schrager's a bitch, and he's always stealing information from everyone else, acting like it's his. Acho is cringeworthy. Acho is the most annoying one on TV besides Stephen A. right now, in my opinion. Anytime I see him, it just makes my ears and eyes bleed. It's like I have to change the channel immediately. Nothing good comes out of his mouth ever. It's just straight annoying every single time. 1971 from my boy Mike. Appreciate you. Bang, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang. You know, and you can definitely tell the people that are lazy, that don't read and don't watch film, you know, they just try to watch other people, see what they say, steal their content, and then they do their show. You know, the real ones are actually the ones that are reading 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, that are watching the film, you know what I mean? And there's not a lot of people on Twitch and YouTube that are even doing what I'm doing. You know, and there's a reason why I feel my knowledge is, you know, the best compared to anyone else on YouTube or Twitch, because I put in more time than anyone else. No one else is reading for 4 to 8 hours every day. No one else is watching film 2 to 3 hours every day. No one else is putting in 16 hours a day out of 24. And if they are, I'd like to see it. So. Shady's fucking terrible. Shady talks a lot of shit and he can't give the Cowboys any credit. You know what I mean? It's one thing, I know you're a former Eagle, but you can't just say something just because you hate the other team. You know, when you actually know that they are pretty good and they, you know, when you're, you know, you have things that are factual and you can't even give it credit just because you're a hater towards that fan base. That's not, you know, you're just trying to say it for like a reaction from the panel or from the viewers and clicks and whatnot. It just makes you look like a fucking idiot because you're not being genuine. Like when people are fake, you can instantly tell when someone isn't genuine and when someone is fake and when they're not real. You know what I mean? Like you feel the aura and the vibe. You can instantly tell, like when you meet people too, you meet someone brand new and within the first 30 seconds to a minute, when you meet someone, you get a vibe. Are they trustworthy? Are they honest? Could I be this person's friend? Or are they shady? And if you feel a little bit of like, they're a little off, chances are that they're scandalous, they're a cheater, they're a thief, they're a liar. There's something off about them. And our intuition is normally 99% right. And I know we can get that by watching people on YouTube, Twitch, and TV and podcasts as well. You can just tell by certain people the way that they talk, the way they act, you know, their mannerisms, you know, everything that they say. That's facts.
Timeout taken by Baltimore. It says 3rd and 1. The ball is sitting on the 13-yard line. They finally have moved the down marker, which they waited 40 seconds to do.
1971 from my boy Mike. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, bang. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to see, and I got you. Yeah. But it gets old when you start saying the same things over and over again. Cowboys suck. Patriots suck. You know, it's like even after Brady's gone, the Patriot narrative still doesn't go away. And they try to brainwash every NFL fan that's not a Cowboy fan or Patriot fan to hate those two teams for the rest of their life, even if they don't know why. You know what I mean? That's the problem, you know, with certain networks. First down, Steelers. I don't like Nick Wright either. You know what I mean? Like I said, sometimes you got to have a nice voice. You know what I mean? That helps. But it's up here. And you definitely can tell who's got brains and who doesn't. Yeah, well, he's a fucking idiot. And that's why no one respects him. You know what I mean? Like we loved him on the football field. And I know Eagles fans love him. You know, and then, you know, all the places that he's played at Pitt, you know, Buffalo, you know, the Eagles, you know, he had a very, you know, special career, even while my Tampa Bay Bucks passing complete to Deontay Johnson in the back of the end zone. But it shows you just because you're a former player doesn't mean you know the game. You know what I mean? You could be a running back, but that doesn't mean that someone else, you know, or you get these like former quarterbacks that were asked like Dan Orlovsky. You know, it's like, okay, you're trying to tell everyone how smart you are. You couldn't even fucking succeed on the field as a quarterback or a backup. So now all of a sudden, you know, you are one of the worst quarterbacks that I've ever seen. And then now you're stepping in the back of the end zone for safeties. And then I'm supposed to listen to you and your fucking hot takes because you know how routes are run at a quarterback? Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Just is that the qualifications to be on TV now? You just got to be booty as fuck in the NFL and then they just throw a mic on you. I even saw Brock Osweiler in the fucking booth acting a fool. I was like, dude, they are running out of talent. They would be better off grabbing people just like, you know, WWE does. They grab guys, you know, like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, you know, they grab, you know, certain people that are talkers because they know that's going to get them ratings. If they were smart on the NFL side, they would start getting rid of all these fucking former players, and they would find people like me or other people on YouTube or Twitch, more people that are qualified that actually care about the game and actually know what they're talking about. Just because I'm not a former player, you know what I mean? No one gives a shit if you're a former player. Like, oh my God, I got to go watch fucking Brock Osweiler or Dan Orlovsky talk about quarterbacks. Said no one ever. No one gives a shit about them. Fuck out of here with that. Well, I'm just supposed to believe everything you say because you were a third string quarterback for 5 years in the league and fucking sucked ass? Fuck out of here. 13-9 Ravens. Pickett avoids a sack lunch. Touchdown Steelers. Najee Harris. My goodness. Well, the game finally got exciting with 56 seconds left in the fourth. Boswell kick is up, and it's good. I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of people that just don't know football. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly feel with the amount of time and effort that I put in, I could go on any TV show tomorrow and I could compete 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 or 1-on-3, 1-on-4 with anybody. It doesn't matter if it's Skip and Shannon or Pat McAfee show or Good Morning Football. I'm not intimidated by any of those motherfuckers because they don't work. I mean, some of them work, but a lot of them, they're just looking at notes. They read a teleprompter. I mean, are they really at home grinding it out and actually care about watching the film, breaking down the stats and the analytics? Hell no. A lot of these guys are in fucking La La Land collecting a fucking paycheck, or they have some fucked up narrative from the producers that they want them to fucking go along with. Like I said, I can't watch any other show. I honestly watch Pat McAfee show. And I don't even watch that every day anymore, to be honest. And then I do a lot of my own independent reading and film study. Every once in a while, I'll watch The Herd. But anytime it's like I start liking a show, like Good Morning Football, Nate leaves, then Kay left. So I can't even – I haven't watched Good Morning Football once this season. I refuse. I'm not going to do it. And then I started liking I liked Colin. Then I hated Colin. Then I liked Colin. Then I hated him. Then Joy was there, and I started to like it again. And then Joy left. And now they got that other Indian guy on there now or whatever. It's like I never can win. As soon as I start liking a show, then they make a change and I don't like it anymore. You know what I mean? And then that foreign guy or Indian guy that's on there with The Herd, he's okay. He's kind of got a mousy voice, but he's not stupid. You can tell that, he cares about the job. And obviously he took Joy's spot, so he's not going to try to get fired. But ultimately, they want a female in that position because they want to have female viewers watch, or they want to have guy viewers, watch a female in that position, so that way they can get the drooling, young kids to watch some, good-looking girl talk sports with Colin or whoever. I mean, there's a reason why they try to have the female with the male on certain shows, to kind of even out the balance instead of having like 4 dudes sitting in the studio. They want to be able to have, a female or two in the booth or in there as well, not only to get the female fans, but also to engage the male fans as well. It's like, I know how that shit works. I'm not fucking stupid. Yeah, Joy is. Same thing with Kay and her show. Yeah, but I'm just sick and tired of the former players, that any former player thinks that they can go on the mic and be great. Or anybody that thinks they can be Jim Nantz or Romo or Gus Johnson or Joel Klatt or, anybody that can go in and be, like a Colin Cowherd or be a Pat McAfee. Sorry. The reason Pat has so much success and everyone wants to work with him is because he's fucking genuine and he's real. He's funny and he'll swear, you know what I mean? But he's just himself. He doesn't have to, live up to any other fucked up narrative. You know what I mean? He just speaks his mind. And that's what we like. And that's why, people respect, people that are that way, that are genuine and real, and they don't have any fucking narrative or any other bullshit thing that they're trying to push from their producers. I don't know. The fake arguing shit, it really gets to me. It's a waste of time. But that's the way society loves. They love people fighting, beating each other up, and they love people arguing and screaming at each other. People love that shit for some reason. 16-13 Steelers. Mark Andrews with the first down. So I guess they said they gave himself up, trying to get into field goal range. Everyone's going to have their own favorites on what they like. You know what I mean? For me, like I said, I'm very particular on who I like. And I like, I usually like the older people, like, as far as like announcers and stuff, like I'm a Madden, Summerall guy, I'm trying to think of Keith Jackson, I like, the old school people, the Vince Scullys, the Harry Careys. I just like the old school vibe, the storytellers and those type of people that are respected, where they don't have to come up with some bullshit fake narrative for ratings or clicks. Picked! And the game is over. Huntley picked off by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And the game is about to be over. Yeah, but that's never going to be a possibility, because Joy is a good-looking woman, and, she knows sports, you know what I mean? But she's always going to be centered no matter what. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And certain females are just going to be centered that way. And obviously they're going to be respected in the industry, but it's like, a big chunk of people watch Good Morning Football to stare at Kay. They didn't give a shit about the rest of the panel. Maybe Nate, you know what I mean? Or they like angry runs from Kyle, but a lot of people just like to watch Kay talk, and watch Joy talk, regardless of what they were talking about, just to watch them on the screen. Yeah, Darius and AQ with the offensive line stuff with like Pat McAfee show. Yeah. Brian Baldinger has got some good stuff on Twitter when he breaks down the film. I always enjoy watching Baldinger doing the Baldy breakdowns. Baldy breakdowns is a good thing for teaching people too. You know what I mean? Like if you want to actually see, how guys are moving on the offensive line, who's pancaking, who's pulling. I always look for the Baldy breakdowns, but yeah, you don't have too many people that actually teach you things nowadays. It's always like some fucked up take. That's facts. Remember when I was talking to you guys earlier in the stream about shitty football and horrible games? Final score, Steelers 16, Ravens 13. I don't even know what to say about this game.
Only loss was by 2 to the Ravens, and they avenge that tonight and win by 3. And for the second straight weekend, Kenny Pickett leads a late winning drive. This one, Najee Harris, who was the star on the ground with 111 yards with the catch there.
Unbelievable. But it shows you without Lamar, I mean, they can't do anything. All right, I got to delete some of these photos here. And then we'll probably go for another like 20 minutes. I don't know if I really want to go for another hour or so. I'm home by myself, so I want to make sure I can take care of Paisley and whatnot as well. I don't want to leave her unoccupied. I mean, if she's snugging and everything, I want to make sure that I don't. That's another reason why I try not to do 2 or 3 games in a day if I'm home by myself, because I don't want to be that bad dog dad. You know, I want to make sure that I'm not making her feel neglected, and I want to make sure, even if she's sleeping or just doing her own thing, she misses dad, and I like spending time with her. So, yeah, but that's why it's refreshing to be able to talk to people like you guys in the room. You know, if you guys have a bigger channel, you're always going to get, the younger generation or people that think they know football, but all they want to do is argue. You know what I mean? And that gets old real quick with some like horrible takes. All right, Sarah, what do we want to look at here? Mike with some donations there at the very end. Anything specific, Mike, that you want to look at for that last dono that you had? And you can let me know, and we can do some photos here for the next like 20 minutes. I wouldn't be opposed to going for 50, going to the 4-hour mark, but I guess it depends if anyone shows up or if we go on some kind of dono train. But I'm definitely completely content on ending, at the 3-hour and 30-minute mark, and then I'll be back tomorrow. So.
Don't leave money on the table. Go to OregonHealthcare.gov.
But it's always good to be able to end the show off on a good note with whatever it is. All right, I think I got everything. And we got to leave the stadium, too.
Start the new year off right during the final days of the Ford Shine Bright sales event. Don't miss your chance to choose from a great selection of new Ford.
I decide if I want to be in the cold, if I want to be somewhere warm, even though it's December, January now.
Get a flex buy with 0% for 66 months on an in-stock 2022 Escape. Only at your local Ford dealer.
All right, where do we want to go for photos? Should we do food for like the last 20 minutes or so? It's always good to kind of end it on a good note.
Welcome to the SMF postgame. Here now, Mike Tirico.
Kenny Pickett leads the Pittsburgh Steelers on back-to-back 80-yard drives.
Final score, Steelers 16, Ravens 13. Man, so much, I don't want to say horrible football, but I mean, thank God for you guys, man, because if I didn't have awesome people like you guys to be able to watch the game with, man, I mean, I definitely wouldn't have been watching this game at all. So many bad football games this year. I can only take so much before I start to become jaded and start hating the league. I don't think I'll ever get to the point where I hate the NFL like I hate NBA and college hoops. But, I mean, the way this season has gone, it hasn't been very, very good.
And what about your touchdown pass to this guy?
Yeah, I mean, we had one very similar earlier in the game. It was almost like a repeat. I think it was a lot better the second time. Not just a heck of a player, all instinct. He took off the field. I just want to give him a shot.
For the people that have to work, for you guys, do you guys work tomorrow, or do you guys have tomorrow off? All right, I'm going to try to get you a Jair from today's game against Jay Jetta. So I just got to go and do some tag words here, and I'll get some food up here for you as well. Oh, baby.
And they beat you guys at home, week 14. You're getting a taste of this rivalry. What is it like to be a part of?
Man, I got a taste of rivalry last year, man. It's an amazing rivalry. Just to be here and watching this game when I was young and I was a kid,
and to see all the greats, Court Palomalu, you had Ed Reed on the other side, Ray Lewis, go on and on and on. This great rivalry for me to be a
Cheese
part of,
curds
and it's a blessing.
from Wisconsin, not from Dairy Queen down the road. There's a difference. I do love some cheese curds. Woo!
We know how special that we can be, and I'm glad that we're starting to put it together, but there's still work to do. Still work to do. You guys are still alive. Go celebrate. Mike?
Hey, shout out to the whole line. Shout out to the whole line. Shout out to Kenny P right here. Y'all see this?
There we go, Najee. Let him know. Anyone that gets any recognition at a running back, first thing you should do is say, shout out to the offensive line. Yeah, fuck Chris Collinsworth. Little bitch ass. It's all good. Anything that Najee says is much better than anything Chris Collinsworth has said in the last 4 hours. Has Chris Collinsworth ever had anything memorable to say? I mean, besides the Super Bowl when he was talking shit about the Eagles back then, but other than that. All right, I got you, man. I miss you, dude. You know what I mean? It's to be able to see you on a weekly basis or every couple weeks with Marcos. And, I see Marcos once a month or once every 2 months. And then obviously since you don't live in Arizona and you live in Texas now, and we used to all live 5 minutes from each other, 10 minutes from each other. It's definitely different. But I do miss you, and I look forward to seeing you when you visit again. Let's get some biscuits and gravy. Always a good go-to.
And starting right now, live coverage continues from here in Baltimore. Back in the studio with the Sunday Night Football final only on Peacock. When we come back, we will look ahead to the final Sunday of the season. After a thrilling Week 17 Sunday, tickets to the Steelers to win.
Why is it looking at it? Well, I'm not a cat expert because we don't have a cat. I'm telling you that I shut the slider last night. Are you sure about that? I closed it. Why don't we check the replay? That is very aggressive. I don't think.
This What Really Happened replay is brought to you by Progressive. One thing no one would challenge, saving money when you bundle home and auto with Progressive.
Yeah, that does look like me. That's because it is you.
To be clear, we have never been accused of being flashy, sexy, or lit. Right? We're definitely not lit. I mean, seriously, we named ourselves Booking.com, which is kind of lit if we're talking literal. It's why we're Planet Earth's #1 site for booking accommodation. We love booking stuff. And
I don't know. My TV remote is jammed, and I'm stuck on this Sunday night. I can't change the channel. It's like they're trying to torture me with watching whatever the fuck this is.
They said that's fine for the streets, but you'll never win a race. They said motorcycles are one thing, but you can't make cars. All right, you're a car company, but you won't win Formula 1 in a highway. Well, you never compete off-road. What about when there is no road? No gas. They've challenged us to do a lot of things. What will we do next? Honda. Power of dreams.
My dad was a hard worker. He used to do side jobs, installing windows, charging some.
Oh, God, it's still stuck. Motherfucker.
He just didn't want to do that. I was proud of the price he used to charge him. My dad instilled in me, always put people before money. Be proud of offering a good product at a fair price. I think he'd be extremely proud of me. Yeah.
This party in Hollywood is back.
are you face to post facial parameter? Deal with it, K-Play and Chip.
Gerard Carmichael hosts the Golden Globe Awards January 10th on NBC and watch the red carpet live from you.
Welcome back to the SNF News Game.
All right, we can tell you this now. We've got the first 2 Week 18 games scheduled. The Chiefs and
I got you.
play at 4:30 Eastern and 1:30 in Vegas. That's on ABC and ESPN. And then in prime
You got to work,
Titans and the Jaguars
and then you're off.
for the 4th seed in the AFC. Rest of the schedule will be announced tomorrow. CBS and Fox will
I know, seriously though. Like it's like the number one food if you're hungover or you feel like shit. And of course you could do pancakes and waffles. My go-to is chicken fried steak, but number 2 behind chicken fried steak is biscuits and gravy. Oh yeah, we talked about the Jimmy Wang Yang love. We did, huh? We totally forgot about that. Yes, that's why I figured that if I threw that up, you would say something. Nice, Reflect. Reflect is on it. I'm always trying to throw up little things here to see if you guys notice or not. Oh, here we go. Chris Collinsworth talking about nothing as usual. Must be nice, you know, to get paid millions of dollars and say nothing of importance and be wrong all the time. I mean, I thought being a weatherman or weatherwoman would be nice, you know, being able to make all that money and be wrong all the time. But God, these people in sports they're living their best life.
Great start to 2023 with all the football, especially here. This man's still celebrating. I don't know if he added that pick and sticker to his hat after.
I did see that. I didn't watch it, but I saw it on Twitter, and I saw that Shinsuke came out, and they had the guy with the violin in the intro, and he spit the mist in his face. So I saw about 2 minutes of the match, but I heard it was Muta's last match in Japan. I have to go back and watch that. So. Fucking Jimmy Wang Yang. Jesus, man. I don't think anyone has even seen or heard of Jimmy Wang Yang. And I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, like some of us, we know, but gosh. Asian cowboy wrestler, Jimmy Wang Yang. Oh my God. Jimmy Wang Yang. It's a former WWE superstar. Jimmy Wang Yang is still an Asian redneck. He's still bringing his wild style to a whole new business. Is he a trucker now? Jimmy Wang Yang? Oh, is it good? I have not seen it. Jimmy Wang Yang. Oh my God. Old school. Look at this WCW one I found. Oh my God. Linsanity.
Anywhere else that compares to our great outdoors. Hi, welcome to a special edition of Let's Get Out There. I'm John Goodwin, and I have a pretty sweet job. I get to combine two of my
Oh God, I can't even change the channel. This is killing me.
and two, getting to create and share these stories with you. Now, in this special, we'll take you to the top of 3 awe-inspiring cascades. Have you climbed them before? Or maybe you're thinking about it? Perhaps you just wondered what it's like at the top. Come along as we climb these impressive volcanoes. We start with the top of
Jimmy Wang Yang has a party bus. Oh, nice. There we go. So he doesn't drive truck. He has a party bus, and then he just makes money that way. Is he the driver? There we go. All right, we're going to delete Jimmy Wang Yang, and we're going to go through some more food, and then we'll call it a day.
Jeremy Ray is the rental manager here. Winter is usually the busy season. With all this wet snow, the climbing season keeps dragging along. If standing at the top of Oregon is on your bucket list, consider a shop like this to help you get there. Marcus Stevens is the owner.
We're really trying and willing to educate people the best we can. So we encourage people to use us as a resource, and we'll be honest.
So what do you need to time out there?
Manual boots, they're important for two reasons. One is they're a lot stiffer, so if you're taking steps and wearing crampons, it's going to be much more stable platform to stand on.
Crampons are the steel spikes you strap onto the boots to give you needed traction on steep ice and snow. An ice axe or ice tool gives you 2 more points of contact, and just as critical as the footwork.
Maybe for self-belay and self-arrest is self-belay is when you're plunging the axe into the snow. That way, if you slip, you have something to hold on to. And then self-arrest is if you do slip, it's catching yourself.
Oh my God, I can't change a channel. There we go. Jesus, it's like, what the hell is the batteries running out? What's going on here? Get me out of here. All right, Back to the Future. That's better. Infinity War, Yellowstone. Ooh, Yellowstone. All right, what do we got here? Let's keep going. I was about to say, dude, don't let me get stuck on this where I can't change fucking channel. All right, a bunch of little cartoons. All right, got to move my Andre the Giant. Got to move my Cal Raleigh autograph, my Ken Griffey Jr. Make some room here. All right, be safe out there. See you next time, man. I know you got 2 foot of snow out there. Hey, Josh, good luck with your Utes. I'll be rooting for you guys tomorrow. All right, get it done. We definitely are going to be rooting for you out here on the Northwest. We want USC and Utah. You know, even though those are rivals, you know, to the Ducks, we get it. We're all going against each other. But when it comes to bowl season and we're not playing each other for, you know, the Pac-12 title, we're going to root for each other to do well as a conference. And I'm going to be rooting for USC and you specifically against Penn State. Go get that job done in that fucking Rose Bowl. I know you. And honestly, you guys should have won it last year against Ohio State. If they didn't have 3 touchdowns from Marvin Harrison Jr. and 3 from Najigba, you guys would have won. You know what I mean? So keep it up, man. You guys deserve it. And you guys are the best team as far as like running the football and defense that we have in the Pac-12. So good luck. Oh, nice. You got him a Lynn Dickey auto? Nice. All right, any last requests here before we call it a day? If you got any other food or pictures, anything random, let me know what you guys want to see here. I'm not sure if Mike left or whatever, but if anyone else wants to see anything, let me know, and then I'm gonna spend time with Paisley. You know, I've been home alone with her since yesterday, so. You got a Giannis auto and you got, oh, nice. Yeah, my dad actually went pretty crazy. Like, you know, normally with my dad, you know, he'll get me like wrestling figures and stuff. Like I got a Roddy Piper. I got an Andre the Giant. You know, so he usually will find like loose wrestling figures every once in a while, maybe something that still has the cardboard on it. But he knows that I like stuff from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, something I can just put on the desk and, you know, just kind of fuck around with while I'm streaming, or that I can collect and put in the box. And I got a Ric Flair mask, like a Halloween Ric Flair mask. I got Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper. But the best thing that I got is I got a PSA authentic American League game used Griffey auto ball. And he got the PSA certificate, and I got the case for it. And it's the first Griffey autograph that I have that's in black ink all the other stuff that I have on the rookie card when I met him, and the autograph photo that he got me, the 8x10 or 10x12 color photo PSA autograph he got me for my birthday with the frame. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And usually Griffey stuff, when it's auto and it's PSA, it's not cheap. On the cheap end, you might be able to find stuff for like 100 to 150. But in most cases, if it's a baseball and it's PSA, or if it's an autograph color photo and it's PSA, normally it's, 150 to 300 or 350, depending on if it's, serial numbered or the rarity. And so, yeah, I wasn't expecting an autograph photo on my birthday in May. And I got that. And then, because I already got the Julio ball this year, Aaron Judge ball this year. So, 2022 was an amazing year. And then I ended up getting the autograph baseball. And it's very clean. And like I said, it's the first auto that I have with black ink. All the other ones I have are blue. So very cool. Nice. Oh, yeah. And sometimes you got to go for the ones that are going to be more rare, for sure. Yeah, it could go well for you if you're down 17 and Higgins, has a game where maybe, he's got, like let's say 6 points, but then all the touchdowns go to Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase and Mixon, and you throw up like a 30, with Burrow, or a 26, you could still end up winning by 3 or 4 points, if he ends up having a quality game. So, obviously Burrow, because like, Shepard, who beat me and I lost by less than a point, he's got Burrow, Higgins, and Mixon. So I told him, if you go that route, it's either going to be beautiful for you and you're going to get to the championship, or you might end up shitting the bed if the team doesn't play well this year. And for his sake, and luckily for him, the Bengals have played pretty good football, after the beginning of the year. And he started off slow, but then he got really hot. And, when you have 3 guys in the lineup out of 9, and if they all hit, and they're all in the same team together, you could end up getting with Mixon, Burrow, and Higgins. He could score 70 or 80 out of just those 3 guys. So, you never know. You never know how it might end up happening. So, all right. So what do we want to do? Do we want to keep going here for another 29 minutes? Do we just want to call it a day? I'll be back tomorrow. I still haven't got an answer if the girlfriend works tomorrow. She's over at a friend's house with her daughter, and then they have like a New Year's get together. And I assume maybe they don't work tomorrow, because if they did, they'd probably be back by now. So unless they're continuing drinking or whatever and doing all that. So, but I assume since they're not home yet, I would assume that, I don't know if they have school tomorrow. I figured they had school tomorrow, unless they go back January 3rd, and then they have one more day off. And if that's the case, then yeah, maybe I can end up doing maybe a bowl game. But if I end up doing the bowl game, is the same thing going to happen again that happened before with the other 2, where I do the game and then they just block it? So I don't know. Obviously the USC game would be nice. The Rose Bowl would be good. But again, if it starts at 2, it's not going to finish by the time I want to do the Bengals and the Bills. So federal holiday tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I figured let's let me spend some time with Paisley. And like I said, I almost, right before, about an hour before the stream, I was thinking about just messaging you, Sarah, and just saying, man, I'm burnt out, and maybe I'll just wait till tomorrow. But sometimes you just got to push, and you end up getting some good people in the room. And even though the game was boring, we definitely had a fun time. And sometimes the chat is better than the game, and that's just the reality, especially this season in the NFL. So. Reflect. I always love seeing you in the building. Hopefully Mike gets better. Same thing goes for a few other people like Alan, who's in the hospital right now, as well as Nate the Great. We got a couple of our hardcore fans that aren't doing too well, physically or mentally. So hopefully everyone can get better to the best of their ability. I'll be praying for a lot of y'all. And like I said, let's call it a night. And then I will be back, obviously, tomorrow. And then I'll message you, Sarah, and we'll figure out what route we want to go. But I appreciate you guys very, very much. All the effort and the donos and the great conversation, and obviously me bitching and complaining about my struggles on fucking the tube. It's just a part of everyday life. But like I said, I got Awesome crew. Sarah's the best mod on planet Earth. And hey, 170 ain't bad. You know what I mean? Like I said, so we exceeded the goal, and we didn't even have all our heavy hitters here either. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Reflect, Sarah, everyone else in the building, Air, Jair, you know what it is. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, I will be back tomorrow, and we'll go right back at it again. And I'm going to go spend some time with Paisley, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby. Macho Man. Love it, baby. Let's go. I really love this one right here. Macho. I'm keeping this one. Got a few new ones that I found, but love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.